time for the Miller's Edge with 4-time SEC champion and 2-time national champion Christian Miller.
Once again with Christian Miller taking him down.
Here's college football playoff national champion Christian Miller on Tide 100.9 and 12:30 a.m. WTBC.
And welcome into this Monday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are staying dry and safe. I know we had a very interesting weekend. I should say, I guess, evening, Chase, right? Again, if you guys are tuning into the stream, shout out to Chase, man. You finally can see our guy, Chase. He's in the studio. He's got the camera set up, man. Cheesing, looking clean and ready to roll. But hold on, Chase. We kind of got some rivalry going on. Look, man, we didn't plan this. I got my Alabama. Let me stand up a little bit. I want to say this is from the college football playoffs. What year is it, man? I got all my gear from when I was in school, man. It's old, but it's still worth a lot, especially to me on a sentimental value. What year is this? I'm trying to look down. I don't even see it, man. I just see champions. Wait. Oh, no, Chasing Greatness. I don't know. It was from when I was in school. Anyway, so I'm rocking the Alabama hoodie because it is cold. We did get hit with a cold front, and hopefully everybody is safe. I want to be clear first. I know there's some severe weather over the weekend. I'll be honest with you, Chase. I kind of knocked out yesterday. I had my phone, on with the alerts on, but
yeah, me too.
Yeah, I mean, God is good. At least in our area, I think it seemed okay. Now, I hadn't seen too many updates. I'm sure there probably were some areas, even if not in the state, across the country that might have been impacted. So definitely praying for anybody that was impacted. But thank you, Lord, that everything seemed to be okay here. That said, this morning, I mean, we go from a very sunny day Saturday. Chase, I'm outside with my dog. There's like hail falling. I wasn't like hard hitting hail, small little hail things. And I'm just like, what in the world is 40 degrees? Let me get back to the original point. I always do this. I'm rocking an Alabama hoodie. Chase, you're rocking an LSU hoodie, man. You're telling on yourself. Now that you got your camera in the studio, man, you're telling on yourself. Chase, you got to explain it, man. You're rocking an LSU hoodie today, man. Why?
So I didn't do laundry over the weekend. I got lazy.
Yeah, that's it.
I just and thank God I wore a jacket because it's snowing. Are you kidding me? It's snowing today. Like, what the heck? So yeah, and it's comfortable. It's big. I get cold in the studio, so it's very nice and warm.
I'm just giving you a hard time, bro. I'm giving you a hard time. I was about to say, is it because Alabama men's basketball lost in the quarterfinals of the SEC men's basketball tournament? Chase, I got to pick on you a little bit more, man. You're 2 for 2, but not in a good way. You two for 2. Every time you've given us a basketball breakdown and assessment, we've lost so far, Chase. The women's basketball team lost to Texas in the tournament when you gave us that breakdown, and then with men's basketball. So, Chase, your breakdowns are phenomenal, but they might be cursed, man. You might have the Danhausen curse on you. So.
Not the Danhausen curse.
Shout out to all my WWE fans, man. You have been cursed, Chase. So we might need to figure out, how to get uncursed. Now, WWE hasn't shown how to get uncursed from Danhausen, so I don't know what we're going to do with you, man. But I think for the time being, we might need to take a break from Chase breaking things down from a basketball perspective. Football, you're totally good, man. I don't think there's been any bad voodoo or mojo there. But, man, we did lose to Ole Miss, who we talked about. I mean, they're like a Cinderella team right now in this SEC tournament, Chase. I mean, they weren't expected to make it this far, let alone beat a team like Alabama. I think they only had, was it maybe 4 conference wins over the regular season, if I'm not mistaken. So, we talk about it. Basketball is one of those sports, man. I mean, it's tough. I mean, you can win or lose on any given day. I guess that can happen with football, but I just feel like basketball is even easier for that to happen. Chase, I know your breakdowns are not breakdowns. Your previews, man, they might be a little bit cursed, but your breakdowns are solid, man. You got anything that you want to throw out there for what you saw? And again, it was a close game, really close. One was it 80-79, but definitely wasn't the expected outcome. I mean, what were your overall thoughts just seeing the Tide fall in Nashville?
It's just the SEC for you. Every year, I feel like it's going to be a top team you do not expect to lose, and
Yeah.
even like It was a good game overall, back and forth. As I expected, very guard heavy, but it just seemed like Ole Miss were making shots that they typically don't do. And like you
Mhm.
said, 3 or 4 SEC conference wins. They have no business being that high in the tournament, but because it's a land of opportunity, hey, if you're on your best and you're clicking from all sides of a cylinder, you have a chance to win. And Ole Miss, even though they didn't get to the national championship, they definitely not national champion, SEC tournament championship game. They played really well. Chris Beard had them ready to go. They were looking for blood, and they smelt it, and they went after it. I just felt like Alabama was shocked at times of kind of the shot selection they were putting up, or really attacking their guard play. But it's a testament for Alabama to be like, look, everybody's gunning for you. They don't care about the Charles Bediako situation. They see that Crimson Eight, it's on, and you got to go from that. And hopefully they can learn from this because they have to go to Tampa and face Hofstra, who has, I believe, a 7-footer who has been an issue for Alabama in rebounding. So hopefully they can learn from their mistakes and not repeat it because they're a very, very good team. But yeah, I had to double check my ESPN app because I was like, what? Like, what do you mean Alabama men's basketball? And then you mentioned it earlier, Alabama women's basketball. I'm still kind of shaking my head about that. And Texas, I hope Digger doesn't call in. I don't want to hear from him today, but it's just how the roll tide goes, I guess.
Hey, listen, it happens. I'm giving you a hard time. Clearly they didn't lose because of you. It just was funny. I'm like, dang, now that I think about it, man, Chase, you gave us two of your previews for these basketball matchups, and they didn't go so well for us. So I'm telling you, I think you got the Danhausen curse on you, but we'll figure out as the weeks go on with WWE. Maybe somebody will break the curse. Right now, what do we got? Dom Mysterio, The Miz. Is there one more? I think he might have cursed somebody else. Maybe, I don't know, but we need to add Chase Brumfield to that list because you have been cursed. All right. That said, and speaking of basketball, you guys know I'm not huge on reporting on the I guess we joke about Georgia and those issues, but since everybody's talking about it in the chat, I will mention it out there because I mean it is part of I guess the job when you're talking on a sports show. I don't know all the information yet. I just saw this morning, just like you guys, but I did read that same news that you guys are discussing in the chat about Aiden Holloway being arrested. Listen, I'm probably going to wait till more information comes out from all that to really comment on it, if I even really do. But just unfortunate news, coming out of Tuscaloosa right now, like you just mentioned. Disappointing weekend in Nashville, and then you find out who you're playing coming up for the tourney, right? March Madness. That's like what I wouldn't say what it's all about, but that's what you're pretty much doing everything during the regular season for. I mean, the whole goal is to win a national championship, and then to kind of kick off this season, right, of March Madness with the news of your second leading scorer in Aiden Holloway having some legal issues, man. Definitely not, number one, not a great look at all, and number two, just not good for the team in general. So I'm going to wait until more stuff comes out before, like I said, before I comment on anything. But number one, I hope everything works out. I personally for him, I hope he gets the help and everything that he needs to do on his end, because that's more important than anything right now. But it definitely is very disappointing knowing how important he is and has been for this men's basketball team. So we'll see kind of how that situation develops, but definitely big disappointment there on that end. In the football world, I will say this, Chase, a little bit of a quiet week after we had such a very eventful week last week. Spring football kicking off, Alabama football got 4 practices in. We were breaking it down. We were covering it to a T, man. We've been getting some practice clips. We've been listening to some interviews. Had a bombshell drop by Ryan Grubb, offensive coordinator, goes ahead and names his starting left tackle. That was a big deal. We've talked about it. We'll probably talk about it a little bit more because we will be joined again by Landon Tengwall today, who covers all of college football now, but does a really good job. He breaks down a lot of tape, and he's been doing an extensive breakdown on Alabama. He's moved on to Texas A&M, and I think he's about to start a new team this week, but we had to run it back because we didn't even get a chance to really dive into everything we wanted to dive into. Plus, we got to get the updates, right? So Landon's gone back and watched some tape on Jackson Lloyd. I myself have gone back and watched some more tape on Jackson Lloyd after the news. So we will be discussing Landon's breakdown on Jackson Lloyd a little bit later on into the show. Plus, we'll discuss the quarterback battle. We didn't get to talk with Landon about that last time that he was on, and some of these defensive names to pay attention to, because we also didn't get to that part. We spent about an hour talking about the offensive line. So this time around, we'll talk a little bit more defense with Landon. Plus, we'll circle back to the Jackson Lloyd situation, get his thoughts on him as a player, get his breakdown, and we will definitely keep discussing some Alabama football. So just because they are off on spring break, we are not off. We will be live all week, same time, same place, 11 to 1, Tide 100.9. YouTube on our stream, on the Facebook page of Tide 100.9, and on our X at the Miller's Edge. So you can check us out on all those platforms. And if you guys prefer the streams, you always can watch us do the show. You've been seeing me do it. Now you get to see our guy Chase in action. It looks like he's got Wyatt hanging out behind him too. So we got you guys covered if you guys prefer to watch, which is a hot commodity. Because I remember we had one guy. I remember I was streaming. He was like, "Oh, the picture's too small. Blow your screen up. We want to see you." I'm like, "Damn, y'all just want to watch me talk? I'm just talking." I'm like, I'm not acting, but I get it. People enjoy it. So check us out on our streams. We always encourage you to do so. We always encourage you guys to get in on the conversations too. 205-342-9904 is the phone number. We would love to get y'all's thoughts on what you've seen so far. And that's kind of the theme for today. Of course, we're going to do some breakdowns with Landon. I know you guys love breakdowns. We'll do that. But what have we learned so far through 1 week of spring practice? Again, they are off this week, but we're going to recap week number 1, what we've learned, what we've seen, some takeaways, what we've heard from the coaches, from various players that have spoke to the media. This week will be a little bit of a recap week. Plus, we'll continue to talk with various folks on the show and hopefully with you guys again. I think we got Smitty and others lining up on the phone line. So we'll go to the phone lines early before we get Landon on. Then we'll keep on rolling. But first, we're going to take a time out. When we come back, we keep on grinding on this Monday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Don't go anywhere. We are just getting started. When we come back, we'll talk a little football. We'll go to the phone lines, and we'll look forward to hearing from Landon Tengwall of the Landon Tengwall Show right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC.
The Tuscaloosa Thread News Update is brought to you by Tuscaloosa Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Tuscaloosa's destination for iconic Jeeps. Owner loyalty earns $1,500 cash back on a new 2026 Jeep Grand Cherokee.
Under the biggest cactus in town, Taco Casa. Quality is number one.
All right, folks, let's see who's in here, man. What's up, everybody? How was y'all's weekend? Let me make that a little bit smaller real quick. All right, there we go. Yeah, we'll go there for a second. Show our partners and our sponsors some love, man. Again, shout out to all the fine folks, man, that help put this whole thing together. Seriously, we appreciate them. And if you guys appreciate the show, make sure you guys always consider for any of the needs that you might have. If there's any of our partners that offer some of those needs, man, we always recommend that you guys check them out. Supporting them supports us, and it helps keep things rolling here on the show. You guys see the brand new, beautiful cameraman. Not cameraman, actually, but the camera itself, man. We've invested in that. You see the new background. So again, everything that we're doing here is from our partners, from you guys. So we appreciate it. So the more we grow, the better it gets for you guys. So we appreciate all that. Let's see who we got in here. BJ, what's up? Yakenji, what's up? Jake, I can always bet on the early ones, man. I always can bet on them. Maybe we'll just go to the phone lines early. We can go to the phone lines early. We got folks lining up. I know we'll get Landon on here, so we'll do that. We'll go to the phone lines right off the bat. Why not? It's a spring break Monday, man. Spring break Monday. I'll just throw in my thoughts when we talk with Landon. QD, what's up? One and done for Bama in the NCAA tournament. Damn, you think it's a one and done? Prayers up, the good Lord answer in the storm of protection. Yeah, absolutely, man. Think it ended up being all right. Now, I don't really watch the news a whole bunch, so I'm not too sure. I mean, there might have been areas that did get it rough, but from what I've seen, I haven't seen anything too crazy. So God is good, man, for sure. Crystal, what's up? Chase is like me when I worked at USC. I wore my Bama gear to the student orientation. To be fair, Chase has roots has roots like all over the place, man. Louisiana, California, Mississippi, Alabama. I'm kind of telling all his business. Sorry, Chase. I think you've mentioned on the show before. Why do you own it, Chase? That's the question. He's got family in Louisiana from that area, so That's fair. We'll give him a pass on it. He just can't wear it when we're playing LSU. He can't wear that though. We have a rule on that. I'm making the rule now. I think that's a fair rule. I think it's a fair rule. 60 degrees tomorrow. Right now. Wait. 60 degrees here right now. Tomorrow morning will be 0. Says Jake, who's up in New York. Man, goodness, that's terrible. That's literally terrible and crazy. Travelpreneur, what's up? We got Deboo in here. Carson's on the phone line, so we'll hear from Carson. We got Smitty on the phone line, so we'll go to both of them in a minute. Western New York weather, man. More surprise. Florida lost. True. Yeah, that definitely was a shocker. That's basketball, though, man. That's definitely basketball for you. Kyle, what's up? Yeah, that was wide behind Chase. Way offsides. What's up, guys? Roll Tide. What's up? No, I get it. No, I'm just giving you a hard time about wanting to see our face. No, I get it. I mean, like, I would much rather watch a video podcast, which again, we're a radio show, but I get it. Like a video stream than just listen. I was just giving, I forgot who it was, but it was before I had like the big screen, like the big format, and they're like, nah, it's not big enough. I'm like, damn. Oh, we got Landon on here. Let's go. We got Landon on here. I'm gonna call it early because I was planning on noon our time, so it's perfect. But let me see. Let me make this. We'll throw Landon up here. Let's change this. Bet there it goes. What's up, bro?
What's up, Christian? Appreciate you having me on, dude. I just realized that when you said 12, I forgot that we are different time zones.
Yeah, no, that's what I was going to tell you. That when you text me, I was like, wait, he's probably thinking Eastern, but I was like, you know what? I just whenever he joins, he's good. Like we're just chilling today. We're just
I love it, dude.
Week 1.
Well, yeah, I'm early, but I thought I was late. I'm rushing, and I'm at home in Annapolis, Maryland right now. For those who don't know, I reside in State College, Pennsylvania. I played at Penn State, and we got like tornado warnings. A tree fell down in the neighborhood, so I was out there trying to like help people out, make sure everything was all right. But yeah, there's like tornado warnings all over. I don't know. You guys are probably fine down there, but
whoa, no, I was going to say that's kind of like the thing about, you know, Alabama and really this area. If you think about Louisiana, Alabama, even, you know, Arkansas, like a lot of those states are very, very known to have like that type of weather, tornado type weather. So I think a lot of people here are used to it, but it sounds like y'all don't really get that very often where you're at.
No, it's really calm up in like Northeast, even like Mid Atlantic. You don't get too much crazy weather. That's the nice part.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. All right, we're gonna come back, so I'll go ahead and intro you then.
Sweet.
Chase is gonna pop up. So our producers, he's on the camera in the middle. If you're wondering who that is, our guy Chase. They got him a camera in the studio now, so we got them featured on here, man. Yeah. So all right, here we go. And welcome back into this Monday edition of the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. All right, let's talk some football. Now, I definitely I'm going to call an audible because I told Smitty and Carson we're going to the phone lines here in a second, but we're going to do that here. But give us a second because we gotta welcome in our guest who on his time, on our time, he's early, and I love it. I love it because that gives us a little bit of time to talk some football, and I know we're going to dive into it because last time we didn't even get to finish, man. We talked about the offensive line like the whole time, so we've got some more ground to cover here. But we got Landon Tengwall joining us now live here on the Miller's Edge of the Landon Tengwall Show. Make sure you guys check him out. Definitely on X if you guys, which I know you do. That's why you really enjoy listening to our show. We do a lot of breakdown stuff. We watch tape, and we really dive into the weeds of football. Well, Landon does that to a great degree, and he also does it over on his YouTube channel, the Landon Tengwall Show. Check him out on YouTube as well. Did a really nice deep dive on Alabama football over the last couple weeks or so, and he can't stay away from us now, man. Now he's locked into Alabama. He's moved on like Texas A&M and some other schools, but he's finding himself back talking some Alabama with some big news going on. So we'll talk about that news. Landon, welcome in, man. How's everything?
Doing well, Christian. Appreciate you having me back on, man. You're right. I can't stay away from the Alabama fans. I really got introduced a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, oh man, I said this might be the best fan base out there, man. And yeah, so Christian texted me and he's like, hey, like 12 p.m. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Mind you, I'm currently in Maryland, but I live in Pennsylvania. So I'm thinking, 12 p.m. Eastern. And so I thought I was late getting on. Turns out I'm like 40 minutes early getting on. So
Well, listen, if you got to go because you're probably thinking you had others, there's schedules a little off. Don't worry. I was about to say we get to 12 and we need to readjust. Don't worry. We'll navigate. We'll move around, brother. You know, we're laid back here on this show, man. We talk football. We kick back. It's supposed to just feel like we're in barbershop, locker room. Don't matter, man. Just some dudes talking football. So
I love
you know
it.
the
I'm
vibe.
here, man. I'm good. You guys got me.
I love it. Let's dive into it, man. Week 1's in the books now, at least for us. And the reason I say it like that is they're on spring break now. So we got a little bit of a window where guys are going on their spring break, their vacation, they're doing all that stuff. Probably looks a lot, I always joke around, it looks a lot different than probably you and I when we were going on spring break. I don't think we had 6-7 figures in the bank to go and hang. Yeah, there you go, doing the thing. Thank you, Wyatt. I keep forgetting about that meme. But going on my Miami trips and going, man, I've seen some of these dudes, man. I'm like, goodness. My spring break, Landon, was going back to South Carolina, literally to my friend's house where I grew up fishing on his lake. And I wasn't spending no money but the gas to drive to Columbia, South Carolina, the gas to drive to Tuscaloosa, and maybe go to Bojangles and McDonald's.
Bro,
how was yours?
Dude, so I went to Penn. So I was about 3 hours away from home. I'm from Annapolis, Maryland, so Penn State's about 3 hours away. I came home every spring break. I just wanted to see my family. And you're right, dude. I see these guys like they're not only Miami. I mean, they're going to the islands, and not even that. Like guys get a weekend off now, and they're taking the Miami trips on a weekend off, and they're posted up at all the places that like Drake be
The
rapping
NFL
about.
guys
Like that's where these
yep.
guys, the Masoni room at the Biblos. That's where these guys are going in college football now. It's ridiculous. So like dude, it's a completely different time. I see I got friends and I look at their Instagram stories and it's like, I'm getting the new AMG truck off like the bed and it's like bringing it up to State College. I'm like, what? Yeah, no, different. They're living a different life than us, Christian.
Yeah, it's totally different. But hey, man, all power to them. Best believe. I mean, you take advantage of it while you can. Now, obviously, save if you can, if as much as you can, not if. Save as much as you can. But you know what? I've kind of had a little bit of a different philosophy because I've always been the type to say like, man, like save every little penny. But then I'm also recently I've been like, you know what, man, you're only young once. You know, sometimes it's not bad to take advantage of some of these situations that you might have. And I'm sure they probably got connections. But instead of pocket watching, let me ask you some football questions, man. And the biggest one, Landon, is the whole Jackson Lloyd news, man. Now immediately we were texting back and forth when it first dropped because I think both of us were kind of like, whoa, like what the hell? Like that was kind of fast, right? Just tell me initially when you saw Ryan Grubb come out to the media and announce that, hey, Jackson Lloyd is our guy. And I want to go back and I want to make sure I say exactly what he said because we've had some comments on the YouTube channel, people thinking like, oh, you're taking it out of context or, oh, you're looking too far into it. I'm like, no, I'm telling you what the guy said. And he literally said, there's no competition there. He's the left tackle. I mean, I'm just going to paraphrase. I'm not going to waste the time. But when you heard that through 3 practices, Landon, kind of what went through your mind? And then tell me a little bit about kind of what your overall thoughts are on Jackson Lloyd. Because I've seen you've dropped a new video. You went back to rewatch his tape. I'll throw it on the screen a little bit. We played part of it last week on the show. Again, make sure you guys go check out the episode if you haven't. Landon did a whole breakdown on Jackson Lloyd after being named starter. But Landon, tell me, what were your thoughts hearing that and then what you think about Jackson Lloyd after rewatching him?
Yeah, my first thought is I was like, Coach Saban would have hated that. He would have freaked out, I feel like, if his OC said that about – I mean, number one, you look at this and it's like it was just so out of nowhere. So, I mean, everybody was excited about Jackson Lloyd. And like when I came on the show and when I was covering Alabama a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, hey, here's my starting 5 for this offensive line based off of their film from last year. And I even said, and a bunch of people asked me, they're like, what about Jackson Lloyd? You think he might start? And I was like, yeah, he very well could, because I had Javen James being the left tackle, transfer from Mississippi State. And I'm like, yeah, he very well could be the starter, but this is a guy that played 41 snaps as a true freshman. Let's see what spring ball and fall camp looks like. Well, Ryan Grubb did not want to wait to see what spring ball really looked like.
No.
Because, and we both know, those first 3 practices of spring ball, you might do some one-on-ones, but you're not really clacking the pads like that.
No.
So it was just so shocking for me. It's one thing to be like, yeah, he's going to be the starting left tackle right now. Okay, that's even like whatever. Like if you want to say he's the starter for spring ball, that's cool. But to say there's no competition, I just thought was kind of crazy for a guy that, like we said, you haven't really gotten to see him in spring ball. If you're Adrian Clem, the new offensive line coach, you've had 3 practices to work with him. And Grubb is over here like, yeah, it's done. It's decided. What if I'm Javen James? I'm kind of like, yeah, if you want to say Javen James, okay, he gets to compete with Michael Carroll at right tackle. That's fine. You can say that. But why not keep all the competition open? Why make Jackson Lloyd feel like it's locked up? And I'm going to be real. There is a little bit of a different urgency feeling almost when you're a player and you're in spring ball and you know you're competing for a job versus when you have that job locked up and you're like, oh, I'm going to be the starter in the fall. Like there's a little bit of a different vibe there. And I'm going to be honest, it normally gets the better out of you when you are in that competition. So I really was shocked. I was, because it would be very different. I think you even said this. It'd be very different if we just finish up Jackson Lloyd's second year and he played 300 plus snaps and it was like, oh yeah, we're already penciling him in at left tackle. But it just, that wasn't really the case. And it'd also be another thing if we got through let's say we're sitting at the spring game for Bama and it's like, oh yeah, Jackson Lloyd's our guy, had an unbelievable spring ball. I'm cool with that. I get it. So I'm not mad at it. I think it's great news for Bama fans. Hey, I got my left tackle of the future. If Grubb is that confident in him, that means we got ourselves a dude. And I think a lot of people thought he was going to be a dude. But it was just, I just thought it was a little crazy to throw around that no competition label on the left tackle job this soon. But yeah, I went back. I really rewatched all of his 41 snaps again because I watched him the first time. But I did kind of, when I watched it the second time, and Christian, I feel like you can relate to this. When you watch film and you're just kind of watching multiple guys or you're watching a whole side of the ball, it is so different than watching one player for the entire game. Like there are just so many different things you see. And so, most of his reps came against Eastern Illinois and came against Louisiana Monroe. And so, you watch those and he's got some really dominant reps. But I think the biggest question was just, what does he look like against, SEC boys? What is his strength going to look like after he gets another year in a Alabama lifting program? So I think those were all the questions you have. And so it seems like he's going to be the guy that there's just full confidence in him. But there's a lot to like him. He's got the body that you want. He's got the 6'7" frame. He's going to be able to hold 320 pounds. And he's athletic. Like he can move. He's a high IQ player. You see it on tape, even in limited reps. So I think it's definitely exciting for an offensive line that we went through thoroughly and said, hey, look, last year it just wasn't there. And look, if you can give a guy the confidence that maybe can almost be one of those leaders, even though he's only going to be in year 2, that's cool with me. Like if you feel like he's going to be one of those guys that could be the tone setter for the offensive line, let's do it. Let's have him be the guy. But yeah, I mean, Chris, I was overall shocked. I just don't think it was a great decision. And I can't imagine that Kalen DeBoer loved that. Maybe he did. I just, as a head coach, just taking the competition out of a position at spring, practice 3 in spring ball, I do question it.
And I'm glad you're kind of reaffirming what I was saying about that. Just knowing from playing the sport and being in those competitions, like you mentioned, I think some people are kind of taking what I was saying almost out of context. Like, oh, so if you hear that means you don't want to compete anymore. I'm like, no, that's not what that means. But like you said, there's an edge you have where you're saying, hey, these guys just left. Now that spot is open. We're battling it out. And when you feel like there's that fair opportunity, it just, you have a different edge to you versus, I gave the example when I knew Tim Williams and Ryan Anderson were in front of me. It's not that I wasn't going out there and competing the same, like less or anything. It's just, I just knew in the back of my mind, those guys are going to be the dudes. I'm kind of competing here for, Sam number 2, which is fine. That's just kind of the role that it would be. And I guess if people haven't been there, they're not going to understand what we're saying. It doesn't make you anything less than a competitor. It's just facts. That's just how it works. And then lastly, like you mentioned, it's more so just about coming out and saying that. Look, he has every right to sit there in his head or even in meetings to talk about it. You don't think Coach Saban and guys talked about in meetings who they believed are going to be the starters? Hell yeah, they did. But it's different when you come out and publicly do that and do it with such conviction where you shut it down saying, he's the guy. There's no competition there. He is our left tackle. I just personally, I don't think you needed to do. There's just no need to do that, right? I mean, I know you want to be honest to the media, but come on now. Like we all know about giving politicians answers. Hell, I mean, it don't take a rocket science. You know what I mean? Like that's why I said, just give him hype. Say, man, we are super excited about his development. We really see him having a big role, an increased role this upcoming. All those things that indicates you pretty much see the guy as that, but you don't have to flat out say, no, he's the guy. cutting it off. Because like you said, I know for a fact, like going into spring when you are a starter, it does kind of feel, I'm not saying you relax a little bit, but your intensity just naturally isn't going to be quite there. People can say that means you're not the ultimate competitor. That's cap, because I'm telling you, your best players do that same thing. My dad played in the league 9 years, was the same way. When he was the guy, it would look way different than when he was a rookie trying to earn the job and be the guy. That said, not a nitpick, it is what it is. The positive in it is, I guess, you at least let him kind of start working there, and he's just going to get rep with the first team, and that can start kind of forming that continuity and that gel that they probably need as an offensive line that we know they did not really have last year when they were playing musical chairs. So I do understand that aspect, but really appreciate you offering that insight. And to your point about him as a player, I watched your breakdown, and I've gotten a chance to go back and watch some of those snaps. Like you said, I watched them the first time around, but this time really focusing on him. You're right. There are a lot of good traits that he has, a lot of good things to work on, a lot of things that he does well. It's definitely some things he needs to work on. Strength definitely being one of those. But like you pointed out, like that leverage that he works with, like those are like techniques and things that a lot of professionals use. And I think if he can keep building on that, he's going to be a good player. And I'm excited about him. It's just, I feel like you put a lot of pressure on a guy like that when you come out and do that, because now everybody's going to be like, hey, he's the premier left tackle. So like there's an expectation set on this young man out the gates from when we kick things off in the fall.
Well, yeah, too, Christian. I also wonder, like, and who knows, this is just full on speculation. Is there a little bit of how much you pay a guy in the offseason that correlates to, like, hey, you got to be the guy? Like, how much we paid you, like, we have no clue how much he's making. It's never going to get disclosed. One day we might get to the point where the player's money is disclosed, but we don't know. But let's just say hypothetically, Jackson Lloyd was given whatever, let's just say $1 million. And it's like, hey, he's gonna be the guy because we gave him $1 million. He better be the guy. If he's not the guy, we got a freaking problem.
That's a fair point. I mean, maybe it's just like it had something to do like that. And I was thinking that too. Maybe not saying they made a commitment to him, but maybe maybe they wanted to, when they talked to him this offseason, they made it a point that, hey man, like not just to keep him here, but they really wanted to let him know, hey, we really like you. We believe in you. You are our guy. And maybe that's why he wanted to do that. And he felt good about doing that because the young man, I'm sure probably had offers to leave, and, his position coach left. I can only imagine some of those conversations, but who knows? Who knows? I do know we need to hit a quick timeout and stay on schedule. So let's do that, Chase. When we come back, we'll keep talking some Alabama football with Landon Tengwall of the Landon Tengwall Show. Check him out on YouTube, definitely on X if you guys enjoy and appreciate those breakdowns that he's always doing. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about the quarterback battle, get his thoughts on that because we didn't get to do that last time around. Plus, some of these new names on defense. Landon got to watch them and break them down, and we need to discuss that as well. And I can kind of chime in a little bit on some initial thoughts after week 1 of spring practice. We'll do all that on the other side right here on the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC.
Do you have cracks or potholes that are dragging down your property?
Landon, I forgot to ask you, man. When you're doing these YouTube breakdowns, do they not flag you at all?
No, you know what's crazy, dude, is like I always get flagged instantly, like as I start to upload them. I don't know why this Jackson Lloyd one didn't get flagged at all. It's the only one. Whenever I do SEC, it's really weird. So Veritone is the company that does all Big Ten, and they're at the point, bro. They will copyright strike you if you use all 22.
Yeah, dude. I got hit with one time, and since then I'm like,
really? You got hit with a Bama video?
So yeah, but I'll be honest with you. I can't remember if it was only all 22 or it might have been like I might have had because sometimes like I'll play like Greg McElroy's podcast and he'll use highlights, which aren't all 22. I can't remember which one it was. Luckily, it ended up just being a warning, which was good. And I had to do like I did a thing like a questionnaire thing where I answered some questions in it. I think
it's like copyright strike school or whatever.
Yeah, some weird thing like that. So I did that, and I think we're good now. But since then, I've been a little cautious with it. But I use all 22 as well, and for some reason, it still like comes up as I don't know.
Yeah, you're almost like I don't know why I got super lucky, but every other SEC video I've done, it's always automatic. It's not copyright strike, but copyright claim. So I'm just I just part with the fact that like any film video I do, I'm not going to make revenue off of it.
Monetize.
Yeah. So, but I don't know why randomly this video like still hasn't gotten hit. But like normally when I upload it's like Catapult, It's like they have it in their they're they're whatever. I don't even know what it is, but they have it so it automatically reads it and it's like boom, I'm flagging, I'm taking your money. But yeah, dude, I hate Veritone. Dude, I got hit. I was popping. I was at like my height, bro. When Penn State was playing Oregon this year, week 5, week 4, I was making Oregon videos. And like, I don't know, you know Brooks Austin?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. We both got hit. We both made Oregon videos. We both got hit bad by Veritone. I made 2 videos. There were 2 of my highest viewed videos. They were both going over like 15K on Oregon's offense and defense. Double copyright strike, bro. I was obliterated for like 3 weeks. I was in the shadow realm where like I was getting no new views, no new subs. The only people that could watch my videos is if they like searched it up. I wasn't getting recommended to anybody because when you have 2 copyright strikes, it basically shadow bans you until you get rid of them. So yeah, dude, I'm not gonna lie. The all 22 shit, it's like it's such a scary spot. Yeah,
did Brooks, does he gets away? I mean, is it because he's on a projector or no?
He says all of his get hit automatically. Like he doesn't make any money either. So
he's
like
just not monetizing it.
Yeah, but he doesn't. He stays away from Big Ten too now. So like that's part of the reason why I'm getting into SEC because like I can't do Big Ten all 22.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but no, he doesn't.
I'm cool with not monetizing, but I just don't want my channel to get like taken. That's what I worry about.
I know. Trust me, I live in fear every day with that stuff.
That's the worst. I don't know. Maybe I'll start like a Patreon or something. I was thinking about that one day. That's the move. And welcome back into this Monday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. We're talking with our guy, Landon Tengwall, who's become a very hot name in the Alabama community, man, doing some breakdowns on the Crimson Tide going into this 2026 season. It's been fun, man. We've been connecting with them, collaborating with them, and talking some football. Really enjoy it. As you guys know, that's kind of our thing on this show, man. We talk ball, we break football down, and now we got our guy Landon joining us, doing it here on the Miller's Edge. Second time, man. Definitely not the last. We'll keep doing more and more of this in the future. Before we continue, Landon, I do got to hit a super chat real quick from our guy Adam, who is an official partner here on the show with Lamparello Law, Education, and Advocacy. He says Christian Chase came on the show with an LSU sweatshirt. He must repent. Anyway, do you think Keelan wins the quarterback battle? Again, shout out to Adam with Lamparello Law, Education, and Advocacy. He is the attorney and professor responsible for Lamparello Law. So if you guys are any high school, college, or graduate students, or have any high school, college, or graduate students, make sure you guys check them out. They provide mentoring, exam and test taking preparation, subject matter mastery, application strategy, personal statements, resumes, and so much more, career and academic planning. And of course, on the representation side of things, academic misconduct matters, First Amendment situations, name, image, and likeness. Not trying to be funny, but Aiden Holloway situation. You never know. You might find yourself in a legal situation. Check out Lamparello Law, Education, and Advocacy. Not only will they do it with genuine care, passion, and relentless advocacy, but even better, or just as good, I should say, is the price, their rate, man. It's all at an affordable price. Make sure you check them out. 201-317-5115 or contact Adam at lamparello-law.com. That's Lamparello Law, Education, and Advocacy. All right, Landon, I'll let you answer this one too, man. Keelan Russell, it's perfect segue. We're going to talk about the quarterbacks for a second. They're going at it, man. Both of these guys look really good. I'm sure you've seen a lot of these clips circulating. The ball just comes off his hands. Zip on it. It's smooth. It's a quick, snappy release, man. He's put on a little bit of weight. Still not really bulked up yet, but it's better. You tell me. I'll let you kick it off, Landon. Does Keelan Russell win this quarterback battle?
Yeah, Keelan Russell wins it, man. He's just so much. I just see so much more talent in him, just natural ability. You see why he was the unanimous 5-star. Obviously, you have the athletic ability where he can just scoot on out of that pocket. But my biggest thing is how the ball fires out of his hand, how he can make those. He had a play, like I said, we didn't have a ton of snaps, whatever. He had around 15 or 20 pass attempts. But he had a play that looked so Aaron Rodgers-esque to me where he's running around the pocket, stops on a dime, flicks it out. He's got like the wrist flick. There's just everything that you want in these new school quarterbacks. He just has every single piece of it. Now, I mean, the biggest question for him, I think the only thing that would hold him back from winning this job is the processing. How are you seeing the field? How are you seeing the defense? I mean, I did a little mini film breakdown on him on Twitter, and the play I was talking about, he had 2 guys open probably for touchdowns. He made it a lot more difficult, and then he stopped on a dime and flicked it out, and it looked really cool. but he also missed a couple really open wide receivers there. So that's my biggest thing for him. Like, I'm not going to look at your freshman year tape where you had 50 snaps and just go crazy because you missed a couple passes. Like, it is what it is. You're a true freshman getting out there. But now coming into year two, how are you seeing the defense? Are you able, what kind of progressions are you going through? And I saw some of that. There was times where he had someone screaming at him from 5 yards of depth, a linebacker coming free, and he wasn't phased one bit, and he just fired it to his wide receiver. Like, he can stand in the pocket. He can take some heat. So I'm really curious to see how he progresses from the processing standpoint, but he starts to put it together. I mean, we're talking one of the most talented quarterbacks in all of college football as he begins to put this together. And that's why I think I lean the way of Keelan Russell. I will say too, dude, the media is funny because there was one pass. I know you know what I'm talking about. There was one pass where Austin Mack missed someone. They were just running routes on air. And I saw this scene.
Yeah.
It was like everybody in the Bama media posted it and was like, oh, Austin Mack missed this on-air pass. I was dying, bro. I was like,
well, listen, I mean, number one, the media for Alabama, I mean, we're nuts, man, when it comes to, every little detail. It's trying to find every little hint that you can find out. But I do agree. People go a little too far where it's like, oh, man, he missed that throw. But I will say, though, because I watched these guys a lot last season when they were competing. Clearly Ty was going to be the guy, but there's moments where Austin Mack did some good things and he was getting some opportunities, some looks. They all got looks with the first team. And I would say that is one thing with Austin Mack. I feel like he doesn't have quite the touch that Keelan has. And then Keelan also has what you just described, like that Aaron Rodgers. I mean, even like Bryce Young, who played here. Not saying he's going to be the next Bryce Young, but that ability they're moving around the pocket. They're creating when things aren't really there. And there's so many guys that want to do that stuff, but they can't. But there's like a few select guys that just naturally make those plays, right? And they make it almost look easy sometimes. The one you're talking about, I remember he stops on a dime. He starts trying to, like he's about to escape through the middle of the pocket. It closes quick. He stops on the dime and flicks his wrist. And to your point about seeing the field, ironically, the coaches always brag about the way he sees the field, especially for a young guy. Mm-hmm. So while he might have missed it on that play, without a doubt, I do believe, that's probably not a huge concern of theirs because I remember from the minute he got here, that was all they talked about. Man, he sees the field so well. So if that's only one of his few flaws,
then it's over.
Good chance.
Yeah,
there's a good chance that gets cleaned. Yeah, there's a good chance that gets cleaned up. Now I will say that experience that Austin Mack has in the system, granted, they probably have played a similar number of snaps. Realistically, Austin Mack clearly has a few more, but not by much. I think that could maybe give him an early edge because I do know this system is complicated, right? They do a lot of different things. As a matter of fact, I mean, you'll hear people that actually go watch tape on Alabama. They'll say this, like, man, Alabama's doing so many different things. I've been saying that, like, we need to simplify a little bit. We've talked about that even in the running game. And hopefully they do take that approach, regardless of who the quarterback is. I think they just need to wind back a little bit. And I think that would maybe help them out. But to answer Adam's question, it sounds like both of us are leaning Keelan Russell. Now, I'm leaning Keelan, but I wouldn't be shocked if maybe even by week one, you see a little bit of a 2-quarterback deal. Not necessarily saying they're going into the season playing 2 quarterbacks, but I could see a world where Austin Mack might go split series, maybe game 1 or something like that. I think it's going to be close. I think they want to give Austin Mack his fair opportunity because this is a guy that started at Washington with this staff. They recruited him there. He early enrolled there. They love the guy. I mean, he has a lot of traits, and he's a really good football player. I think if he doesn't win this battle, I could see this guy going and starting at a number of other big programs and being a good football player. It's just when you have a young guy like Keelan Russell on your heels like that, that's tough. But the good news is we talk about competition. One reason why you don't just go say, hey, Austin Mack, hey, he's a starter right now. Well, because these guys are going to be fighting at, every single practice, every single meeting. I mean, they're going at it, and that competitive nature is going to be through the roof. So I think it's going to make everybody better in that quarterback room. Landon, we got to hit a quick timeout to stay on schedule. But when we come back, we'll talk some defense real quick because I do want to get your thoughts on some of these new defenders that we have here in Tuscaloosa. Kane Womack spoke to the media. I'm not sure if you got to hear him. But when he talked about some of his guys, he had a lot of high praise for several of these transfers, including Devin Tompkins, the USC transfer. I think you also touched on him recently, then also Caleb Woodson, the linebacker. So we'll talk some of my language when we come back here on the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, joined by Landon Tengwall, the Landon Tengwall Show. Check them out now on YouTube, the Landon Tengwall Show, and on X at Landon Tengwall for all those film breakdowns. Quick timeout. We'll be right back. All right, let's see.
Just a heads up, is Kedrick Bingley Jones, is he expected to be a big time contributor?
I
I only
would
ask
say-
because I'm just telling you, I did not watch his tape. I think that's the one transfer I don't think I've watched.
I watched his tape. He's a 7th-year guy.
What?
He got approved for a 7th year. I would say this. I think he's going to be a depth piece. I don't see him. Yeah, I don't really see him starting for us personally. I think you got London Simmons that they like a lot, who I do too. He's a damn good. I mean, if you didn't like deep dive on him from his freshman year, man, I definitely recommend checking him out like at a little bit deeper level because
I need to.
Three-star kid out of Mississippi. He came on he came to camp here. They got him to come to camp here, and they were blown away with them. And he ended up he started a number of games last season and played some damn good football. I like him a lot. But yeah, he's out this spring though because he had an operation. So anyway, I would expect him, Devin Tompkins, and Green, those guys to really be your main contributor or starters, I should say, on the interior. And then I would say Bingley Jones. I think that's how you say his name. Probably like a rotational guy. But I watched his tape at Mississippi State. Good player. Nothing like blows you away, but definitely like a quality SEC player that can give you snaps. I mean, pretty solid against the run. I mean, pass rush wise, you're not getting anything crazy, but I think he's around like 300 or so. Definitely a good 3 technique option. They kind of moved him around the defensive line at State. But I would check out London. I would do London Simmons.
Okay, yeah, I need to like really because I like when I was watching the Bama defense, like I marked his name down a couple of times. We had some nice reps, but I haven't. Like I said, it's so different watching like a side of the ball
specific
watching
guy.
a guy. I'm curious to get your take on Terrence Green because I always watched a lot of Terrence Green because I was doing a lot of Oregon content.
Yeah. Listen, from what I saw on tape, man, I think he's got a lot of potential. I mean, he's a little bit different than what we've had, like in Tim Keenan the last couple of years, who was more of that squatty nose. I mean, who, believe it or not, I think, was it 2 years ago, Tim actually was like decent with his pass rush. Now, it wasn't what you would get out of, somebody a little bit more athletic, but I'm eager to see him. I mean, at Oregon, I think he did a lot of good things, but there's also some reps that I think he definitely, like technique-wise, could improve on. I think he's dropped down too. I think he's around like 319. So yeah, I mean, I like him. I think he's definitely different than what we've had. I mean, that length is definitely intriguing at nose. But I think he's a good play. Like, it's interesting. I felt like this way with a lot of transfers. Like, there's a lot of good, and there's also some clips that, like, some tape that, or reps, I should say, they're just like, we got to clean that up.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
But I think this system I think he's going to play well in the system. I mean, Oregon had Tosh Lupoy, who was my position coach here in Tuscaloosa, came with Dan Lanning in that system. And I just feel like our system here is a lot different. Like, they run a lot similar of a defense to what we ran under Coach Saban. 2-gap deal. I mean, it's a lot, you know what I mean? Like, he's just eating up blocks for the guys behind him. The system that we have, I think, is going to let him be more of an athlete. You'll probably see more movement. And I think he's going to probably play a lot better in this system than he might have at Oregon, which I didn't think his Oregon take was bad at all. I mean,
I don't think it was. Yeah, I'm the same way. You're right. It's such a different life for a defensive tackle when they're in a constant move, slant, stunt. You get like, it's just, I feel like it's a different life. And he was making plays for the linebackers essentially to allow them to make plays.
100%. Now I think he'll be able to kind of make some for himself. So I think it's going to be interesting. And welcome back into this Monday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. We're joined by Landon Tengwall of the Landon Tengwall Show. Check them out on YouTube and X if you haven't already. Doing a really good job breaking football down. A lot of Alabama content right now, but they also will be covering all of college football. So make sure you guys get in on the action, especially this offseason, going through the list of a lot of SEC teams as well, which is always really good stuff, man. So let's talk some defense, Landon. You had a chance to look at some of these defensive guys. both on the roster already. I know you talked about QB Reese and some others. Then you also took a look at some of these transfers that we have coming in. Devin Tompkins, Green out of Oregon, Caleb Woodson, linebacker out of Virginia Tech. I know we texted and talked about him a little bit. Tell me your thoughts on this Alabama defense going into 2026. Just kind of overall, I mean, any players after watching the tape that you feel like could be some key contributors, some new faces maybe? What do you think about the Alabama defense?
Yeah, no, I think the best part of your entire team is that DB room. I think there's a lot to be excited about there. I'm hearing these good things about Red Morgan out of spring ball.
Yeah,
and boy, that dude, I don't know if there's someone I enjoy watching play football more than Red Morgan. When I really dived into the Bama defense, I'm like, this is my favorite player ever. Like, he just wants to hit people, and he doesn't care if you have the ball. If you're trying to block him and you're trying to stop him from hitting the guy with the ball carrier, he's going to go through you too. And I'm like, all right, he was meant to play where he plays. Couple other guys, dude. We're hearing all this stuff about Xavier Griffin. He's putting on weight. He's going to be, 5-star dude. So I'm like, let me just go watch his huddle tape. It's always something like when you get to watch a transfer and you're watching like 5 of his games on the all 22 and you get a good sense. The huddle tape's a little bit different because it's the player getting to put together their highlight reel. But it doesn't matter. Like, you can just tell when a guy's a dude.
Yeah,
he's got that acceleration that you just see out of these new school linebackers, like that can just play all around. And it's just like, oh, okay. Like he's going to be a guy. Also, he loves another guy that loves to hit. Like, he doesn't care if it's a lineman coming at him. He doesn't care. It doesn't matter. But someone with that type of acceleration that almost feels like they can teleport into the flats. Like, you throw a little dump off pass into the flats, he is there in a half a second. So obviously, true freshman, you got to see how he adjusts. Let's see what we hear out of spring ball when it really starts to get physical in the spring game and all that. But I think that's someone you're looking at. Like, I see him getting some real reps as a freshman. Let's just see kind of how his processing, continues to develop. But that's someone I'm keeping a very, very close eye on, because I had people when I put out the QB Reese stuff, and I'm like, oh, I love QB. Everybody's like, wait for Xavier Griffin, wait for him. And I don't know. I turned on that tape. I was pretty excited. I think naturally Yonze Pierre is someone you have to be really excited that's coming back for another year here. I saw a lot of his different just pass rush moves he was putting together. I think he can continue to progress in that and definitely get a little bit more defined. But he's got some stuff to him in the pass rush game, and I really like how he plays in the run game. Really strong defender. So I'm excited about him there. Dude, the other guy, Dre Kirkpatrick Jr. Can we talk about I said Red Morgan Jr. might have been my favorite guy to watch. In the limited reps that Kirkpatrick played, he might actually take the cake on that, because he was physically trying to cause harm to other people when he wanted to put his shoulder into them. Like, had a really nice, if you remember early on, had a forced fumble where he just came flying down, put his helmet right across on the football and just popped it right out. And I think actually QB Reese picked it up and started to run it back. Like, just a guy that flies around. So, I mean, you have this DB room that is just absolutely loaded. So I'm excited to see him get some more play, but obviously playing behind Keon Sabb, Bray Hubbard back there, like you got some ballers on that in that back half of that defense. And then you mentioned we texted about Caleb Woodson, and I'll let you can start it off. You can start it off talking about him, because I turned on the tape.
No, and I saw it too, because initially when I pulled it up, I thought, I'm like, all right, man, like I see the athleticism is jumping off the screen. I mean, the dude is rangy, plays sideline to sideline. He covers a whole hell of a lot of grass. I mean, he's like a missile. I mean, he's just flying in there, but almost sometimes it felt like it was a little bit, not reckless to an extent, but almost like uncontrolled. You know what I mean? Almost like we got to find a little bit more of a balance where you have a better feel for that linebacker position, really reading, those run fits and just understanding it a little bit better. But I'll say this, man. I mean, with him coming here, putting on some weight, he's now pushing like 240. I was kind of wondering, like, is he going to hover around that 230, maybe drop some once the season gets going? Because we know that's typically what happens with our bodies once you really start rolling. But it sounds, I mean, to me, like just seeing him, he's a big dude. Like it looks every bit of an SEC linebacker. And he's been stepping up as a leader this far in the workouts, on the practice field. And I think he's going to end up being, a really solid contributor here. So I'll be honest with you. When you turn on the tape, I think there are some moments where you're like, man, like you see the potential, right? And I know that he's been productive at Virginia Tech, but there's definitely some things that I thought he needed to clean up. Just a little bit of a raw player at the linebacker spot. But it makes sense when you realize the guy came into college as a DB. I mean, I don't know if he was recruited as a DB to play linebacker or he was recruited as a DB to play DB, then got switched to linebacker. Regardless, he has a background as a defensive back. And when you're talking about a guy that's 6'3", 240 pounds now and playing that linebacker position, number one, I mean, you're talking about a world-class athlete playing the spot, but two, I just can imagine, the way Kane Womack uses his linebackers and trying to move them around and let them be athletes, let them just basically go out there and play football. I think he's going to excel, just like we were talking about during the break, like with Green from Oregon. You're talking about a system at Oregon which, mimicked a lot of what Coach Saban did. Those defensive tackles and nose guards up front, it's a little bit of a system where you're eating up blocks or two gap, and you're basically letting the linebackers make all the plays versus here, Kane Womack, their identity has kind of shifted a little bit over the last couple seasons, but I definitely feel like what they're moving towards even more is a lot more movement, a lot more athleticism. You'll probably see a lot of slicing and dicing up front, letting guys just get after it. A lot of position versatility depending on what you're getting. And I think a lot of these transfers are probably going to play a little bit better football here than what they did even before they got here, given that these coaches know how they want to use them and where they're going to line them up. So I think Caleb Woodson is definitely a guy to keep an eye on. And I imagine he's kind of a pencil-in starter. The way they're speaking about him in the media, I think you can kind of read between the lines. He's a guy. I don't know if they're going to do the whole grub method and basically say there's no competition at Mike. He's the Mike. He is the Mike. But, I think he's definitely going to be a good player this season.
Yeah, I think that is one of the things that excites you. Talk about, having those linebackers pressed up, you're sending them on these blitzes where they're running twist and all that type of stuff. And I think that is where Caleb Woodson will definitely excel, where you just let him go be an athlete, just go use your athleticism, track people down, get after the quarterback. So I'm excited to see how Womack uses him there. And same thing, like I was talking about Xavier Griffin, but once again, that's just an incredibly athletic human being that can fly and has that acceleration similar to Woodson. And so that's why I'm like, hey, let's see how creative you can get with these linebackers. You did a lot of stuff with Lawson and Jefferson last year. That was fun, and you're getting them being able to really move around in that defense. And I think you got another group of guys that are incredibly athletic right behind them. But yeah, talking about Terrence Green, this is someone that I've been watching for a while because I did a lot of Oregon content this past year and was really watching their film. And someone that it always was I always felt a little underutilized. And normally, like Oregon had started out, they were playing a lot of these odd fronts where a lot of times they had three big boys up front. And then it really kind of changed a little bit. And two guys, Amari Washington was a guy for Oregon that's a big-time guy, and then Bear Alexander came in from USC. And they kind of just took over, and they really just started playing a lot more four-down fronts. And it kind of forced Terrence Green into a little bit more of like a true backup role. But when he got in, I thought there was a lot of good reps. And like we were talking about in that Oregon defense, it was a lot of, hey, Terrence Green, take up this double team and let your linebackers and your safeties fly in and make tackles. That's what we need you to do. And you're right. I think it's going to look a lot different for him. There's going to be a lot more where I'm one-on-one with an offensive lineman, and I have a lot more ability where I'm not two gapping. I'm not having to put hands in and you just eat this double team and try to play both. And there's a lot more almost versatility that I feel like you can get out of Terrence Green that he wasn't used that way up in Oregon. So I'm excited to see how he continues to progress. And I know we're not talking offense, but I think the other thing that Terrence Green does for you is this is a 6'5", 320-pound human being. He's given Rayson Delgatti, who's probably going to be your starting center. And the whole question around Rayson Delgatti is, he's athletic, he's scrappy, he's all these things, but we don't know how he's going to look against the big boys in the SEC. Well, now you get 15 practices going against Terrence Green. That there's not much better test than that's a big boy right there. So that's another reason why I'm excited that he's also not only himself, but he's getting your center for 2026 ready and used to this SEC play.
Absolutely, because it's a lot different playing at Alabama than Cal Poly. But if history tells us anything, Josh Cuevas, the tight end that we had the past two seasons here in Tuscaloosa that transferred from Washington after transferring from Cal Poly there, he was a damn good player for us. And I would argue that he was one of the best players we had offensively last season. So hopefully Rayson Delgatti can recreate some of that magic from the Cal Poly system coming to play for Kalen DeBoer. We got to hit this top hour break. When we come back, we still got Landon with us, and I'm not sure his schedule, so maybe we'll get another segment or so in here. We'll judge based off what he's got, and maybe we'll put a bow on some of this, and we'll get to you guys, 205-342-9904. You're listening to the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC. Yeah, Landon, you got time for maybe one more segment?
Yeah, let's do one more. Absolutely, man.
Yeah, I was about to say,
Dude,
I don't want to hold you up.
No, I'm good, man. I'm super happy because I'm sure we get like 2 massages a week when you're playing. I don't know how you guys,
Yeah.
dude. I've been trying to like really lose. I've been working out really heavy, and I haven't gotten a massage in like 6 months. I got one today, bro. I'm quite excited about this. I need it, man. The muscles are hurting. I'm putting myself through the ringer. I got a wedding in May, so I'm getting married in May, bro. So I'm trying to
Oh, dude, congrats, man.
Thank you, bro.
Man, listen, those massages, listen, ours got upgraded through the years. So we started off with like they would bring them in on what day was it during the season? I want to say was it Wednesday after practice, something like that. But then it started to by getting even bigger. Where like they'd have like the lights dimmed in the training room. They'd have like Zen music playing, and then they started giving us pedicures, I think, right? Like doing our feet and stuff, like as an option too. Now that was a little bit more, relevant during camp, but I was like, hold on, man, this kind of nice, but it'll set you up though, because then we go to meetings. Like I'm like, oh man, I'm ready to go to sleep. I'm like, man, I just got my feet rubbed, my back rubbed. I mean, I got that little Chinese music playing in the background. I'm like, man, I ain't about trying to go watch no tape now. I'm trying to go home.
I feel that, dude. That's why I liked it. We always did we always had them after practice. Funny enough, so that's how. I was feeling good, man. What?
Yeah, man. They took care of us. I'm sure y'all up there at Penn State was probably just as nice. Very, very similar kind of vibe. I never went to Penn State, man. I didn't really I don't think I got recruited like that by Penn State. So
it was cool, dude. Trust me, it's not even close to the same world, bro. Like your guys' food.
You don't think so?
No, dude.
I feel like we had a big program, dude.
Though. It's crazy. We had to walk. We almost walked a half a mile to training table. That's how far our training table was. It wasn't in the facility.
Really?
I kid you not, bro. Until 2 years ago, they finally built it. We were because like Joe Paterno was like huge on like you don't need new stuff. So like when Franklin got in, bro, we were like behind on facility stuff. Like our weight room was nothing. Like I remember when I went to Bama, did you guys have didn't you have like some type of food spot like basically in the weight room? It was like directly next. It was like right there, right?
Yeah.
Like they were cooking up real meals.
So, all right. So you got initially when I first got there, our training table was like connected. It was a dining hall connected to our dorms. So we normally would drive over like next to our dorms and it's basically connected. But then they moved everything into the one whole facility. So we have basically like and the downstairs is for all sports. The upstairs is literally only football. And that's where all the chefs are, everything's at.
Okay.
And there's the balcony and it's pretty much like a walkway to the weight room and the practice fields. It's all like right there, oversees everything. And then you also have like the shake bar inside of the weight room, which you probably also had seen. So it is, man, these dudes have it, and it only gets better. Like, I mean, they've got when I talk about a recovery, like red light therapy things, the whole cryo chamber, brand new pool with the treadmill and all that stuff in like the train. I mean, like it's bro, locker room got upgraded after I left. I mean, these dudes, man, they of course
Spoiled.
they get everything. Yeah, I know. We would lay the foundation. These dudes are living like kings, man.
National champion Christian Miller on Tide 100.9 and 12:30 a.m. WTBC.
Right. We'll talk a little, just recap real quick, and then we'll let you.
Sounds good.
And welcome back into this Monday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. We're talking Alabama football, recapping week 1 with our guy, Landon Tengwall of the Landon Tengwall Show. Check him out right now if you guys haven't, or I guess you guys can wait till we finish up the show. But check them out on YouTube at the Landon Tengwall Show, on X at Landon Tengwall, man. Really good stuff. A lot of football breakdowns. Anything that comes out, man, he's on it. Jackson Lloyd named starter. He's re-watching the tape and breaking it down. So that's why you need to subscribe and follow and all that good stuff. That way you stay up to date with it. And we got Landon one more segment here. So Landon, I want to put a bow on everything. We talked really about everything, but one thing that we haven't hit, and it was in the chat, Ken, the Bama fan, asked this, the running backs, right? A lot of people, we all know, are concerned about the running game. That was the biggest issue last season, without a doubt. I think 129th or whatever it was nationally, and they set records. Just the wrong records. I think it was like records for like the lowest average in like Bama history. So when you look at, we talk about the offensive line and how important that is. It's more important than anything. And it seems like it's starting to come together right now. We'll have to see kind of how the group ends up performing, but it sounds like they're checking boxes and finding who are their guys there. But at running back, Landon, a little bit different. Instead of a whole overhaul, everybody's coming back. You add Khalifa, I think his name is, not Wiz, but the running back from Tennessee. You bring him in, probably a depth piece there. But you also bring in Xavier Crowell, the phenom freshman running back who's supposed to be going to prom here probably in about a week or two. But this guy is over here shaking guys left and right at Alabama spring football practice, man. What's your outlook on that running back position? I know we mentioned a little bit of like Kevin Riley. I think is a guy that people aren't really mentioning enough. I think he could be somebody that last season, I don't know if you watched early on, but he was a young, kind of skinny little running back that they threw in there when Jam Miller got hurt. And everybody was like, whoa, wait, where'd he come from? We've been hearing about Jam and Daniel Hill. Who is this? And he was honestly probably the hardest runner we had, and he was the smallest. So I think he could step up, Landon. Daniel Hill has lost a little bit of weight. I think that could benefit him. I don't think he's just going to drastically become this shifty back and have all this burst and explosiveness out of nowhere, because that's just not really how it works. I mean, he'll improve some, but not much probably. But I just think he'll be in a better position since he's not the back to really run behind his pads like he's 245 pounds. So I didn't think it really served him being that big anyway. But then you got the young guys, even A.K. Deere. I mean, was a very talented, highly recruited guy. Just, wasn't really ready to play last year. What's your outlook on this running back position? Do you think Bama can get more out of their guys? We all know they have to, but do you think they will?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think number one, you look at this, and the biggest thing that Bama's been missing is the running backs that they had, back when you were on the squad and whatnot. You've had these super talented running backs, and they're still very good players, but you just don't have that superstar. So Crowell, you look at him, and it's like, okay, this is a guy that still should be a junior in high school. He's here basically a year and a half early, if you want to look at it like that.
True.
Obviously, it seems like he was kind of banged up a little bit, so he wasn't full go in the first week of spring ball. So that's something we're going to have to kind of wait and continue to see how that progresses. But I think that's someone you're looking at of like, okay, can he be this running back that we've been used to at Bama for so long, where we're just pumping out superstars? And it's been a little bit of a downslope recently. I think you make a great point on Daniel Hill of him dropping a little bit of weight. It serves him better. It doesn't really make sense if he was this huge bruising running back, it would be better. But hey, let's just drop a little bit of that weight. And yeah, I did. I marked down. I remember watching because I watched Louisiana Monroe a bunch of times because I was studying a lot of these younger guys. And I kept seeing Kevin Riley in that game. I was like, who's 28? What's this guy doing? And I think he was over 6 points in the first two games. Florida State, I think he had 5 carries in that one. But then against Monroe too, like both games, he was over 6 yards per carry. And you see a explosive running back that feel like you can get something out of that. Now, I guess my biggest question for this is like, you need 2 guys to kind of solidify themselves, because I don't want to be in a world where we're changing out 3-4 backs and it starts to just become and it's not as big of a problem. It's not as big of a problem like the offensive line, because that has to be a cohesive unit. Like we're fine if we do have to rotate some guys, but I'd love to find those 1 or 2 that you just are going to be able to count on. And so obviously you watch Xavier Crowell's highlights, and it's like, look, this is the guy that I want to be the dude. And I think generally the team, like when you're a fan, you always lean towards these young guys because it's like, look, I can have like emotional connection to them because they're going to be here for a to little while. Hopefully.
Yeah.
You used to be able to do that. Now in the NIL era, it's like if my freshman has a good year, he might be out to the highest bidder. But do I think they're going to improve? Absolutely. There's really no else way to go except up when you're 129th in the nation in rushing. But I know we're talking about the running back specifically, but I really do think this offensive line is going to take a step forward. And I think that's going to greatly help them, because you look at any running back, like it doesn't matter how good they are. If you don't have the blocking up front, it's not going to work. You're not going to be able to run the football, and your running backs are going to suffer because they're going to get frustrated. The holes aren't going to be there for them. And then they start to try to make stuff out of nothing. And that's when you start to get those negative runs. And that's how you end up 129th in the nation, where you got frustrated running backs, the holes aren't there, and they're making it worse because it's like, I got to do something. I don't want to look like a bum out here because my offensive line is making me not look so great. So I think all of that kind of plays off of each other. But yeah, I think they will definitely take a step forward. But I think a big reason for that is also just going to be a better blocking from their offensive line. And we talked about this too. Like, I think something else these running backs will benefit from is if we can really lock in with Grubb and say, hey, we are going to create an identity on gap scheme runs, or we're going to create an identity on inside zone. Give this run game as a whole, running backs, tight ends, offensive line, give them an identity to feed off of. And I think that is where you start to see them take that next step instead of saying, hey, we're going to run every run scheme under the sun. Let's give this run game an identity. I think that helps them take the next step too.
You know, it's crazy. We talked about that, and I've been mentioning that for like 3 months, 4 months, probably during the season as well. That, like you mentioned, we discussed that in depth. But it's not until a 2-time Super Bowl winner goes on another show and mentions that he's watching Ty Simpson's tape, and he's like, they need to establish like literally the same thing we said. You know, a jack of all trades, a master of none, literally the same verbiage. And I always give my listeners a hard time because I'm like, we'll talk about everything y'all go in here on like somebody else say, but then when they say, you're like, hey, listen to this, I'm like, yeah, what you've heard us talk about on this show. I'm like, yeah, that if you turn on the tape, that's been an issue. But no, I'm with you. I think, yeah, even if it is something simple, inside zone duo, who cares, man? Just establish that identity and get to the point where, like we talked about, it doesn't matter. Like you said, y'all had a script. That was the first thing coming. Teams knew, like we watched film, we know tendencies. We're going to know that going into the game. But when you get to that point as an offensive line or an offensive unit in general, where you can line up and you say, hey, yep, we're going duo right here, you know, based off of the formation, based off tendencies, we're running duo right down your throat. Let's see if you can stop it. That does something to a defense. Hell, I know, right? Like, for example, I played edge. And when we played teams that love to live in the counter world, right? They played gap schemes and they ran a lot of counter. You know who hated playing against counter? Me as an edge guy. I'm a 235-pound pass rusher. I don't want to close on a counter on a pulling guard every other play. Why? I'm banging my shoulder. He's drilling his helmet in the side of my helmet. Who wants to do that all game? Now, listen, I know my defensive guys are going to get mad and be like, oh, that's soft, C-Mill. I love pulling guards. I love beating them up. Listen, when I was in that mode, yeah, it was fun too. But trust me, we can all sit there and say that as a defender, it sounds good. And yes, you did have some crazy dudes like my guy Ryan Anderson, Denzel Duvall. They reckless abandonment. They didn't care about their bodies. They were going and trying to kill guards, and it was like a car crash every time. I'm a pass rusher. I'll be the first one to tell you. I got used to it because I had to do it if I wanted to play. But what I'm getting at is when teams have that identity as a defense and they do it over and over and over, as a defender, you naturally start kind of get a little worn down, man. Like I would get worn down, close on a counter to the point where I'm like, man, I see that guard coming. I already know he's coming. Why'd I know he's coming, Landon? He's sitting back in his stance. Yeah. He's about a 6-yard split backwards off the heel of the center. I'm like, yep, here we go. Let me buckle my chin strap. I know what's coming here. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what, if this team can do something like that, I know they love their pin and pull. Like, yeah, you still can sprinkle that in, but even, just find things to build off of. But duo inside, that's what a lot of teams just do nowadays. You see a lot of duo inside zone, but they're consistent with it. And then they just know, and then the next step is you start understanding, picking up schemes when defense are doing different stuff. Because I will say this. Defense is a little bit different nowadays where you see a lot of stems now. You see a lot of movement. And even post-snap, I can only imagine it's probably hard for an offensive line, identifying guys, adjusting, their scheme or who they're blocking when things are coming out. But I think all that gets cleaned up, and I think this Alabama offense can be so much better because that running game would just help balance things out. Passing game wasn't so much of a problem. Running game was the biggest one. Landon, any last thoughts before we let you run? Man, I appreciate you hanging out with us the past hour or so, man. Everybody loves the football talk, and they love getting your breakdown. So you want to put a bow on everything, or at least on this Alabama team so far, 1 week through spring, anything that you want to throw in there?
Yeah, no, dude, I'm excited. You got some battles, obviously not left tackle anymore, but we got some battles for sure. Some young guys that we're excited to continue to hear about, and obviously all going to culminate in the spring game and get to finally kind of see them a little bit. But man, I just enjoy coming on the show, guys. If you are a listener, Christian, he's the best in the business, man. Like I go on a lot of different shows,
chill, man.
Dude. It's high level stuff. I enjoy coming on this show more than any other show, man. It's fun, really getting to talk ball with you, man. So I appreciate you coming on. I'm sure I'll be on again sometime in the near future.
Dude. But anytime, I told you, invitations always open, and we talked about the breakdown stuff. Maybe what we can do, especially when it gets closer to the football season, I love to start doing some breakdown stuff. You talk offense, I talk some defense, and maybe we can bring it on another platform where we don't have to worry or get scared about putting the tape on the screen. But I know people are starving for that type of content. Even if we do it on Twitter, maybe we can just go live on X or something. But I definitely say we start breaking some stuff down, especially when the football season comes back, because I think that would be a big hit, and I think our fans will love that, man.
Dude, let's do it. We'll definitely break down some film then.
Absolutely, man. Well, you get back to helping your neighbors and the folks out with the trees, man. I'm glad everybody's safe. That's the most important thing.
Yes, sir.
Go use all that big old strength and muscle you got, man. Go help the town out, man. But yes, sir, I appreciate you joining again. Landon Tengwall, the Landon Tengwall Show. Check him out now on X for all those breakdowns, on YouTube for all the clips and shows that he puts out there every week, every day, pretty much. He's very active on there, especially with Alabama content right now. So check him out if you haven't already. Big thanks to Landon. We'll definitely have him back on here soon. And Landon, be easy, brother.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Christian.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, my guy.
Yep.
Good deal. Landon Tengwall, everybody. All right, we got to hit a timeout. When we come back, we'll keep on rolling. We got I think the Pastor Payne jumped on here, man. So we'll be joined by the Pastor Payne, but we got our phone lines back open, 205-342-9904. I appreciate you guys that we're okay with postponing a little bit. That way we could get Landon here on the show. But now it's y'all's turn. We'll go to the phone lines as well when we come back right here on the Miller's Edge. Top 100.9, 1230, WTBC.
Two of the 80s biggest acts.
Good deal, man. Shout out to our guy Landon, man. Always fun having him on here, man. And I apologize, chat. I have not read the chat much at all, just because I've been talking with Landon and making sure we've been running smooth. But I'm gonna get over to the chat here now, so I apologize, guys. Way Offsides, what's up, man? Tuning in on X, man. I love that we're streaming on X now, man. We've opened up a whole new door for a lot of new listeners, so it's been awesome. If there's any other platforms we need to check out, let us know. I know there's Twitch and Kick and all those streaming platforms, but I don't know. You guys tell me. But I do plan on at some point. I know Patreon a lot of people use to get around like the film stuff. I know a lot of people use that. So maybe that's what we'll do in the future. But definitely want to do it with like guys like Landon. We'll get Slade as well. I know he's definitely interested. But I want to build a network of doesn't have to be former players, but I think that's what makes it fun. I think you guys enjoy the former player vibe. But I guess anybody that really dives into tape. I just naturally always just think of former players because I like making like a meeting session, like a film session in the meeting room. Dwight says, "No, channel won't get kicked. They'll just take your monetized money from the video." But if that's the case, I'm fine with it. I'll post videos that the monetization is fine. Like if that is removed, but how do you decipher what videos YouTube will just take the monetization away and what videos they'll copyright you? That's the biggest thing that I'm trying to figure out. Let's see what else we got here. Ken doesn't think Austin has the accuracy to run the offense fluently. I think he could run it. Do I believe Keelan's a little more accurate than him? I do. I definitely do. But I think he could run the offense just fine. Dwight says not about talent. Does he know the scheme good enough? Well, this is year 2 for Keelan, so I think to me, I'm like, if he can get up to speed on this scheme, I think that's probably going to be really his biggest hurdle, if I'm being completely honest with you. Ty Simpson had 1 year in the system. Austin had 3, and it didn't matter. It's a fair point. Well, Ty had what? 2? It was technically going on 2. Well, 1 full season. You're right, though. But Ty, but Ty will say Ty's a little bit of an outlier because, that is, and I'm not saying Keelan's not cerebral like Ty. I'm not saying that, but I will say Ty, that is like one of his like strong suits. That's what separates him from really all the quarterbacks, most of these quarterbacks in this draft class. A lot of these scouts and NFL personnel have highlighted just how impressive he is when it comes to the board work, the meetings, that portion of this whole draft process. So I will say, he definitely has gotten an advantage with that aspect. So, all right, Let's see. Here we go. We're coming back.
Can you hear me?
Mhm. And welcome back into this Monday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Big shout out to our guy Landon Tengwall joining us here on the show. Real quick, let me do this for the Pastor Payne because he is joining us. My bad, I didn't mean to just spoil the intro. Welcome into the Pastor Payne, who we got on here next. And we also will go to the phone lines, 205-342-9904. I promise I'm not going to forget. I'm going to Smitty as soon as possible, and Carson if Carson wants to jump back on. But let me do this for the Pastor Payne. I don't know if he got to see this last week. I don't think we had it set up just yet. Let me hit this button and boom. Look who it is, man. Got your guy on screen now, man. We done upgraded. We got our guy Chase a camera. So now you don't have to just go,
Well,
hear Chase talking.
Chase is like it's half his face though. Get your camera right, Chase.
No, well, it's because the no. It's because the layout for all three of us, right? So unfortunately, I think he probably had to slide his chair over a little bit, but you can see majority of them.
I mean, but he looks different. I mean, he's got the glasses on and that fro.
Matter of fact, I wear my glasses.
I mean, you got your fro growing up, Chase. I mean, listen. I mean, what's going on in your life? I see you rocking the LSU hoodie and all that good stuff. But what's up, bro?
It's good to see you, sir. How are you doing?
Man, listen. I'm doing amazing. I'm doing amazing. God is good. God is good, and all the time. God
there
is
you
good.
go.
Oh, y'all got okay. We all do that then. Hey, if y'all want to do that,
you
then
were talking about Chase's frame, so I was saying,
hey.
No,
I mean, whatever you want to do.
Making glasses cool again. No, I listen. I had to throw all seriousness though. My vision in my left eye is getting worse, and I'm actually kind of nervous. So I'm like, all right, I really need to start wearing mine a little bit more often. That said, so yeah, we are all rocking our frames. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and jump to the phone lines because I don't want to keep people waiting. I know I always push it back, and we're not going to do that. 205-342-9904. We got our guy Smitty up first, who attended Friday Night SmackDown, which I'm jealous about that. And I saw his tweets. Tweety. Smitty is famous on X in the wrestling community. Smitty, man, tell us, man, how was the SmackDown experience for you?
Man, hope you gentlemen are doing well. First thing first, I'm visiting my family in Alabama, and I didn't realize they had a Bojangles in Montgomery, so I had to hit them up yesterday.
Yes, sir. That's from the Carolinas, bro. You can tell us thank you for that because that originated in the Carolinas. So yes, sir. Shout out to Bojangles.
And I was stationed in Charleston, South Carolina, so I knew about Bojangles.
Yes, sir. And listen, you got to get the Bowberry biscuits. You got to get the Bowberry biscuits with the icing on top. Listen, I used to. It was right next to where my mom's job was, which is she was worked at a school. So we used to get Bojangles like all the time, man. Bow rounds. Yeah. All I wanted was some bow rounds, man. Just like the big potato rounds. I just give me some bow rounds, some Bowberry biscuits. Probably one of the most unhealthiest breakfasts ever. I mean, a whole bunch of grease, a whole bunch of sugar. But boy, I was living like that, boy. Oh, man, I might go order some Bojangles.
Pastor Corey like this. My auntie had some neck bones waiting on me when I got home yesterday too. Yeah.
Everybody, you about to make me start speaking that tongue when you talk about neck bones. You talking about bow rounds and Bowberry biscuits. That ain't real. That ain't hood. That ain't hood eating. You see, my son grew up in a different kind of. See what I'm saying? You got to get some grits, eggs. You got to get some ham hocks. You got to get fat back. Now you talking about eating something.
I was frying
so that your sugar don't go up.
I was frying squirrel at the house, bro. That's what you want to talk about ham hocks. I was frying squirrel that I was going and shoot myself. What are you talking about?
Again, we the people as brothers of America, black folks of America don't eat no squirrel. I mean, possum. I mean, what's wrong with you? I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's different, bro.
What are you talking about? Xavier Leggett from the Panthers. Where's he from? Lowndes, South Carolina? Come on now. He got the ball. You heard how he talked.
You see how he playing too.
Yeah,
you see how he playing. He's Jesse James and the Carolina Panthers getting their money and buying horses and killing raccoons. Come on, bro. You got to do better than that.
You know what, though? Because they asked about the show Friday. It was funny because the internet's totally different from real life because people there had a good time and it was funny. But Cody got beat up. These kids next to it crying and their parents are consoling them. But the parents are kind of laughing at the same time. I'm like, we're back. South Carolina Trick Williams is a hit with the crowd.
Oh yeah.
You know,
But let me ask you this though. So did Trick's entrance? Did you like? I know on the screen in the videos. I mean, you can hear it, you can feel it. How was it in person though? Is it solid?
Oh yeah, every time he popped up on the screen, everybody went crazy in the arena. So it was solid in real time. Yeah,
we need to get Trick on the show, man. My dad might have a connection there. You know, South Carolina's a Gamecock, like my dad. Maybe we need to reach out to get Trick Williams on the show.
Yeah,
you know, Oba Femi said he was going to join the show. I talked to Oba like a year ago because he was here when I was in school here. And I just remember I reached out to him. He said he'd be glad to jump on there. I just never followed up on it. Now I might have waited too long. He might be too mainstream now, but maybe we can get him on here one day.
After Mania season. But you know, the thing is though, like the thing I like bringing on guests, even like yourselves, you guys aren't hot take people. You guys like talk ball and like break it down stuff. And I think a lot of fans are getting into that because let's be real. Everybody's tired of dumb hot takes. You want to talk ball, learn, kind of like the Sports Reporter show back in the day. Mm-hmm. But like with the whole Jackson Arnold thing, my thing is I would just lie, because it's either damn you do, damn you don't type of deal. But the only way I could see him doing this, and I wish Grubb would have said this, we had a lot of moving parts in the offensive line. We just want to pick 5 guys and build continuity that way. But just because we name you a starter today, you still have to keep your spot. And I think that could be something right there that may be gone down a little easier for people because I got tired of seeing Geno Vandermark coming to the game all the time. I just wanted to pick 5 guys.
Sorry. No, you're right though. But my thing, Smitty, is you can literally do both, right? Like he can be your guy, and in practice, you can rep him with the ones as much as possible. You can have in your mind, and you can meet with the coach. Like 2 things can be true. The whole thing that we just have said is just like you didn't need to really say that publicly like that. Not for the fans' sake, but for your own team. To me, it's just like there's just not really a point, but. It is what it is.
It's a rookie. It's like a rookie coaching moment for Grubb. I mean,
he's not a rookie though. That's the.
I know, but I'm saying from the media. I'm saying from understanding how to deal with media. Okay, when they're going to ask a question. They want to know. What's happening. These are key battles, right, happening in the spring. You know that they're coming. But my point is, you have to always protect the sanctity of the team. I mean, so even if like you said, this is my guy. And he's pretty much going to be my starter, right? But I don't need to tell the world that because I want competition to still be an issue for the backup 2 and 3, right? I want them to still compete as though, hey, you still got a chance. We are not handing out start positions around here. But when he said that sounded to me that, okay, you done promised him something either through NIL or something, whatever, that he's going to be the guy. Because you sitting here going, I mean, I'm just putting myself in that position on the team. Right, if I'm battling for a position, we haven't even started spring practice yet. Right, we just did sock jocks and t-shirt, as I call them. Then you're gonna go to the press and say the guy in front of me has beat me out based on what merit? He didn't beat me out based on his last year's performance. Right, it was mud time if he got any. What did he beat me out in? Working out, squatting, benching, power cleaning. I mean, how you win a job? You didn't block anybody yet. You haven't driven anybody up the ball yet. So that was the dumbest thing that a coach could have done. Now you're going to have to go back and do repair work based on those guys because if you're just going to hand out the job, guess what I'm doing? Well, I need to be looking in the portal. I need to be calling some of my other teams and guys and coaches and people. Obviously, they're giving out jobs here. I can't even compete for one. Why do I need to stay here? That was a horrible mistake by Ryan Grubb.
Yeah, and you know what? I remember people used to get mad at David not letting assistants speak, and I'm like, yeah, I see why. Because sometimes they ain't put their foot in their mouths. Everybody's not media savvy like that. And because there's a reason that people hate interviewing coaches sometimes when the coach speaks, because from what you tell everything, it's how you say it also. Like what people are saying. Because my thing is, maybe it's kind of like Russell Wilson that year he beat out Matt Flynn. Matt Flynn got the deal. He came into camp as a starter, but Russ beat him out. Maybe he could have said, hey, You coming into camp, we start the spring this way, but still a long way in the fall camp. Because what if somebody else beats him out in the fall camp? You can't lie to the players. You can't fool them. and if he beats them out, someone else beats him out, you got to go with that guy because I think if you don't go with that guy who could have beat him out in the fall, you lose your team.
Yeah. Well, I would be shocked. Like, listen, if someone is just outplaying him, he's going to walk back all that regardless. I mean, there's just no way. But that's why it's still like you just said. I mean, there's just no point saying it now. I mean, like this, because again, you just never know what can happen. I mean, listen, going back and watching Jackson Lloyd, I agree with what Landon was saying. Like, there's a lot to like about him, and we all knew that there was a lot. Like, no one said he wasn't going to be the guy. I mean, we all said he was going to compete with Javen James. I wasn't completely sold on Javen James watching his tape. You guys know that. And I said, I mean, I think you have an option for a guy who has played SEC ball, but he doesn't strike me as a true plug and play day one starter either. So I was considering Jackson Lloyd probably was going to have a good shot at winning it. It just was like, man, just let it happen organically, because like my dad said, who played 9 years in the league, they don't make him any less of a competitor. Landon, who played at Penn State, I've said, we just know from a player, and again, not saying you guys don't know, but I'm just saying in our perspective, from our own experience, it just there's an edge and an intensity, and it's just a little bit different when you're like, hey, I'm going into this year, I'm working for this job, versus, oh man, I got these guys in front of me. I'm gonna bust my tail, but barring an injury or something, more than likely I'm working for, the second spot behind him. It just there's a little bit of a shift. And I had mentioned that before he even talked about him earning the spot. That's why I just kind of was shocked with it. But it is what it is. Part of it, I guess, just focus on the positives of it. And that's, hey, you probably have a little bit more continuity this year going into the season than last year, where, every week there's a new guy at a different spot. So that is a positive. We can all agree on that.
Yeah, I'll bring this up before I run. Thanks for taking my call. And good job as always. But I know people talked about, like, the NCAA, like, paying players and stuff like that. I think one thing they need contracts for is protect players, because I said it once, I say it again. Just because Texas has oil money, if we're in economic downturn, good luck trying to get some more of that oil money. Or better yet, if there's no return on investment, and the guy ain't good enough, guess what they'll do? Hey, you need to take a pay cut, man. You didn't produce. So there's no protection on them in case you may get injured or you may have a down year. But the question I have is, how come no one's ever thinking about some rules protect the players as well? Because these contracts are one-sided both ways. And do you guys think after a while, these big money folks will get tired of giving money? Because Ohio State 2 years ago was $20 million. Now it's 40. What is 50 and 60 next year? You can't keep that up realistically without a return on investment. You gotta have.
All right, bro. Good stuff.
Sir,
you gotta have.
Smitty.
You gotta have a salary cap. That sounds stupid, right, for college athletics, but you can't. So it's if you don't have any kind of cap system, if that's what you're going to do, it's going to get really, really out of control. And I don't know, but I hear what you're saying about the contract to support players or to protect the athlete. Listen, the bottom line is, if you're going to keep this model up, then it is not amateurism sports, right? The amateurism is gone. It's done with. Now you're calling it minor league football or whatever you want to call it, because of the money, you cannot call it amateurism sport. Amateurs, they don't get paid money. Now you're talking about contracts, and you're talking about protection and collective bargaining and all of these different things. Now we've gotten away from college sports, and that's what's sad about what's happening right now. I'm looking at even what the March Madness getting ready to happen, and I had a coach to say, man, we can't compete because we are the last team in the SEC as far as NIL. Even the money that we get, we didn't even spend it. It went to football. It went to football, and it went to women's basketball. And here you got a coach sitting here going like, bro, I got all these duds up on this team filling out a roster that can't play. And when I went to see Florida and South Carolina, I'm going like, when he said this to me, I was like, I can definitely tell the difference. It was like college versus JV. I mean, the talent level was so disparaging, man. It was so different. And so I'm like, what happened to who can recruit the best? Who has charisma? to go into the households and talk to mamas and dads? Who got the charisma to go into the hood to bring out those from low budget schools and bring them in and create value like Coach Saban said? What coaches are doing that the best? That's out the door. What happens now is, do you got money? How much can you pay me? Can mama get an apartment? Can we get a private plane that they can get back and forth to the game? I mean, like, so to me, that's why I was done with the playoffs this year, because it wasn't about that, and it wasn't about the development of athletes and players and put them in the right system to win. It was about who can get creative, who could build a structure of general management and free agency. This is happening in college. It's the same thing that I dealt with for a decade in National Football League. So to me, I can't get excited about Indiana winning. Congratulations, but yeah, in the old system, Indiana would never have a chance to win because it wouldn't have happened. But now anybody who hit it right can win a national championship if they money right. Chase, can you make it rain? It's raining up here in the Columbia and the Carolinas, but can you make it rain, baby? Can you get me a plane? Can mama and daddy go on that G5 and leave Saturday morning and be at the stadium at 12 for the game? You know what I mean? But can you do that? Can you make that happen?
I know one parent that made that happen. Ty Simpson's dad actually was making that happen. He flew from his game. Now again, he's a head coach of a car. I'm being honest about that. Ty talked about that, how special it was. His dad flew right after playing.
Yeah, but he's at Chattanooga though, right?
No, but no, I'm just saying it's a little bit different than what you're talking about. But
he flew on a plane. It was like a crop duster. Because they got big up time. Want to play? Oh, let me stop.
All right, we got to hit a quick timeout. That's a great segue, because I was going to play a little clip from my former quarterback, Cam Newton, with the Panthers, and he was talking about this. And I don't know if I agree too much with his take, but it basically goes along with what we're talking about. Maybe we'll have a quick chance to do that when we come back right here on the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC. See, I had to switch the glasses up, man. So those are my prescription glasses, which I need, but I don't wear them often. My head was starting to kind of get a little. These are my blue light glasses. I'm at least gonna protect my eyes, man. Dude, my left eye, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm legally blind in my left eye. I feel like it's gotten worse, man. Luckily, my right eye is good. Probably need to go to the eye doctor, for being honest. There's a good reason why Saban didn't let his coaches speak on the program. It's a good example of what Saban meant. Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, the crazy thing is, man, people get mad when you compare, which is not really comparing. It's just, I guess you can call it comparing to an extent. It's really not comparing, like trying to do it in like a malicious way. It's just you understand the method to the madness. A lot of people criticize what the man did for years and too strict, too hard on coaches, too this, too that. He's not open enough. But then you start seeing, not just with us, but just in college football in general, like you realize why he was the way he was. Granted, I understood it the whole time. I had no problems with what we did, man. Listen, what he said, what he said went, man. I was cool with it. You know what? If he's recommending it, bet. Probably a good reason for it. Let me pull up this Cam Newton clip real quick. In the meantime, man, let's show some love to our sponsors real quick on the screen. Let me see. I might have to only play like part of it though, because I know we're running a little bit out of time. What the world? Hey, your thumbnails are getting good, man. I see your church thumbnail just popped up on the screen. Your thumbnails are getting good. Video quality stepped up. You got a new camera? You're on mute. I can't hear you.
No. What thumbnail? I didn't say anything about the chat.
Somebody posted something 7 minutes ago.
Oh yeah, that's the sermon from yesterday.
Yeah,
the light, the calling, and the cleansing coming. We finish up John chapter 2. If you want to follow us there at 1334 Church, we're going through the book of John, St. John, as they call him, the KJV, Saint John.
Yeah, the thumbnail looked good, and then the initial recording, I thought you upgraded the camera, but I ain't gonna lie to you. Y'all got to get a different camera for when you're doing the sermon though.
Well, that's the iPad Mini that we're using right now.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It looked like it's more of a.
Yeah, it's not an upscale camera. We're gonna get one.
I told
And
you.
And our room is dark, so you know they like the worship likes the feel when you talk about music with the lights and all that. So they, you know, then I'm being a dark skinned brother. They gotta turn them up so they can see me.
Oh
Boo.
God. Oh God. Let me see what part we need to just do here. Let me see what part of it we should play because we don't have.
What did Cam say now?
He was talking about Coach Saban at Capitol Hill at the roundtable meeting, and basically was saying the issue is not so much the players getting paid, but more so the transfer portal. And if you fix the transfer portal, everything else fixes itself. And I just disagree with that because I don't think it's that simple. Because that has no effect on what you just described. You just talked about with basketball, right? You got a Florida roster who is, you know, they look like an NBA team versus, you know, y'all South Carolina men's basketball team who doesn't have, I mean, I don't know what the differences is in the NIL evaluations of each roster, but probably it's safe to say that there's quite a difference. And so to me, the transfer portal doesn't just fix that, right? That's my biggest thing. But he basically was saying that, and he just was saying he, you know, for the respect he has for Coach Saban, he couldn't get down with that whole deal. But I hate to say it like this, but it was honestly a pretty bad take. It just wasn't a great take on his part at all, personally. Just my opinion, though.
Tell Cam's wearing some clothes that people can identify with and pull his pants down off his chest.
Okay, come on, man.
Run his mouth.
All right, come on. And welcome back into this Monday edition of Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. All right, let's since we're talking NIL and we're discussing a little bit about this whole deal, which we do all the time. I know it probably is a little rinse and repeat, but I mean, listen, we always get new perspectives and new people throwing in opinions. Sometimes you just got to listen to it and comment on it. So basically, Cam Newton on his YouTube channel was responding to our guy, Coach Saban, who spoke at Capitol Hill, the roundtable meeting. We all know about it. We talked about it. But let's hear what Cam Newton's thoughts are on Coach Saban and the whole, I guess, hopeful, solution to college athletics.
Athletes and coaches to adhere to? Absolutely. But if you fix one, everything else will follow. Mm-hmm. That one thing that you need to fix is the transfer portal. You fix that, everything else will follow. I'm fine, and I am for players making money off their name, image, and likeness.
Yeah.
I'm for that. Go get that bag.
Yeah, they making money.
What I'm not for is for these athletes, women or a man, to have a different college that they're attending every single year of their collegiate eligibility. I'm not with that.
Okay.
But for us to keep saying there's no more such thing as student athlete. Because now we would have so much focus on that student athlete word that it never was a focus for student athlete. How many people are in professions that they didn't even go to school for? Matter of fact, how many people, let's change it from college football, let's specifically go to college basketball. How many collegiate basketball players actually graduate? Those one and done players, the Kyrie Irvings of the world,
lottery picks,
the Zion Williams of the world, the John Walls of the world, huh? Like all these players that are lottery picks in basketball, the Anthony Edwards of the world, do they actually focus on scholastics? And this.
All right, so I'll stop right there because I know we only got a certain amount of time. So basically, and he goes on to talk a little bit, and maybe I'll have a chance to play it, about kind of what he hinted at or alluded to initially, and that was, if you're going to make a change for the athletes, you also need to make a change for the coaches as well. So I'll start there because that is a little bit of an interesting one. Basically, what Cam was saying was, When we talk so much about, hey, student athletes shouldn't make this, or we need to reform this, but we have a system where coaches are allowed, and he goes on to use the example about Lane Kiffin, right? Able to leave his program in the middle of the season. They're on a historic run at Ole Miss, looking to do something they haven't done before, and they earn a trip to the college football playoffs after he leaves and takes a job at LSU. Their staff is flying back and forth. Clearly, that's not the best position for that program. That said, he's saying, hey, and he goes on to say this, there should be something for coaches where coaches can't just up and leave the way they can, right? And because he's saying if we're going to say kids can't do that in the portal, coaches shouldn't be able to just do that either. I kind of hear what he's saying to an extent. Like, if you're saying kids can't just leave, then why is it fair for coaches just to be able to leave? If you're saying kids have this cap, then what? But the problem that he's missing with the whole cap, in my opinion, is again, it's not about, oh, guys should not be able to make money. It's more so, like you said, it's the parity aspect of it, right? That's what it boils down to. It boils down to, we want teams to have an equal cap, just like the NFL and all these other sports leagues. The only teams that don't have, there are leagues that don't have it. MLB, I don't think, has a cap. NBA has a soft cap. And MLS, which is soccer, might be the other one that doesn't necessarily have a cap. Outside of that, I think majority of any other sports league has caps, and it's really to keep that parity within the sport. So I don't know. Y'all have any thoughts on anything that Cam said thus far? Where he lost me was when he started talking about the academic piece, and he was using one and done as an example, basically saying no one really cares about the academic piece. And I listen, I think that's, and maybe he meant something other by, but the way I hear that is, that's terrible advice, because we all know there's only 1% of guys that will actually go on to play their sport professionally, pretty much, at least football wise. At Alabama, is that percentage up a little bit? Sure. Yeah. At Georgia, yes, sure. But out of all the kids in high school, there's like 1% of kids in high school might go play D1 sports. And then 1% of that 1% might have the chance to go play professionally, right? And so for you to use examples of like one and dones and first rounders and stuff like that, yeah, I'm sure those guys probably don't care too much about academics. And if it works out perfect and they manage their money right, they shouldn't have to fall back on their academic, whatever that degree might be. And they might be able to follow the broadcast, and that's all great. But think about all the guys that aren't going to make that type of money or get those opportunities. That's dumb advice to say that academics and your degree does not matter. I can't get behind that.
Well, I thought he was saying, I agree with the whole principle of transfer portal. I hate that kids are playing at 4 and 5 colleges. It drives me nuts. I mean, it just takes away from what college athletics is all about. It just, there's a privilege to get recruited, to have an opportunity to go to said school and play whatever it is, basketball, but whatever you're playing, and build relationships and build team and fighting together and training together in the foxhole together. And you have stories, decades down the road, and all the good times, even the bad times, jokes. I mean, you just don't have that anymore. Guys are just leaving programs for money. They're leaving and they're bouncing around. This don't work here. We're going to go right here. We're going to go. And the thing is, they're getting sold this crap that's not real life. They don't happen like that in the real world. You just ain't going to be able to go pop around if this job ain't working for you, you're upset, and this guy don't. No. The real world does not work this way. And people are getting tricked, duped, bamboozled, if you will, for money. And most of them are not getting crazy amount of money. Most of them are not getting generational, life-changing money, or money that's going to sustain them throughout life. It's not happening, And so I think it's a bad model as a whole. You're not teaching them to create value. You're not teaching them to work hard. You're not teaching them the work ethic, that life take. 99% of you are not going to play at the next level. We can try to, paint this and put lipstick on that NFL pig or NBA pig. And you think, oh, you come here, you got all this. No. It's reality is 90+% of you are going to have to get a regular job. 90-some% of you are going to have people not wanting the autograph. People don't want to take pictures with you. They don't care about your stupid podcast. They are going to move on to the next guy. That's what people do. They don't care about you that way. Somebody needs to tell these kids the truth. And it's starting in high school. It's starting when they're in the 10th grade, ninth grade. You got people. I mean, I have parents even asking me now about their kids. I mean, and I'm like, league? Bro, you better be hoping just to make it to high school. I mean, what are you talking about? Like, scholarships. Yeah, I get them. Have goals. Have these things in mind. But man, this whole thing is so bad, and it's tricking so many people. Look how many guys get into that portal, and look how many guys don't even get signed. Look how many guys think the grass is green on the other side and end up not having any chance at any school. Think about it. This is happening.
You're right.
And
No, you're right.
nobody's talking about that big number over here that people have jumped in the transfer portal and don't even get a chance to do anything because somebody has lied and made them believe, oh man, you can go over here, man, and leave that school, man. You're not getting treated right. Go over here. And then they get up there and be like, oh, I'm not as valuable as I thought. I mean, Coach Beamer was just talking about, and then there's guys calling back. They're calling him back. Can I get back? Can I get that spot? But nope. Now, if you can play, if you're a player, you're gonna get your spot back. But the majority of them, that's gone. Because when you tell them you're looking in, you're jump in the portal, your spot is gone because they have to fill it. It's just a whole bad system in general.
Right.
Period.
And no, it 100% is. But and to his point, I want to get your thoughts real quick about him saying basically hold the coaches to that same standard. Because I know we talked plenty about what you just mentioned, the NIL thing, but I don't think we've ever mentioned that. What do you think about that proposal? Coaches being held to the same standard, maybe like I didn't play the part.
Well, can't leave schools.
Yeah, he basically said coaches should be kind of locked down a little bit more, where they can't just leave
No.
the way they do.
No, because this is true world business, right? You sign a contract. And then there's repercussions too. Like if a coach leaves, then that school, somebody has to be held accountable, right? Whereas these athletes are not being held accountable. So, it is different because they are in the real professional corporate world, so to speak. So if another higher opportunity comes and that team can't match, he should be able to go wherever he wants to go. Why? It's called value production. If he's created value, if Kalen DeBoer comes to Alabama and blows up the next 3 years, and all of a sudden somebody wants to give him $250 million, and he wants to leave, and then dadgummit, you better go get that money because you've created that value for you and your family. You can't be mad at that. What do you mean hold them accountable? I mean, unless you make college athletics a pro league, nah, I don't agree with him. I mean, Cam's just I don't know what's in this cigar. I know what's in my pipe. It's just regular,
Well,
regular
speaking
cigar.
of cigars, shout out to our guys over at R&R Cigars, Reagan and the gang over at R&R Cigars. They'll get you covered. Make sure you guys use that code Miller's Edge on their website, rnrcigars.com. Again, rnrcigars.com, code Miller's Edge. Get you 20% off plus free shipping if your order qualifies. And if you're looking for a place to go watch March Madness, baseball, softball, they keep crushing it as well. Check out R&R Cigars right here in Tuscaloosa, 2703 Gary Fitz Street is where you can find not only do they have cigars, but over 160 bourbons for you to try as well. Drink responsibly. Again, that is R&R Cigars, the official cigar provider of Alabama football since 2014. That'll do it for us on this Monday edition. On the radio side, I'm going to hang out on the stream for a little bit, but look forward to being back here again.
Hey, Chase my dog. Chase my guy. That's what y'all say. Chase my guy.
That's
Blessings,
right.
brother.
Big thanks to Chase, and we'll see Chase and you guys tomorrow right here on the Miller's Edge, Top 100.9, 1230, WTBC.
You've been listening to the Miller's Edge, tackling sports daily.
Turning technology chaos into raving fans.
All right, good deal. Sorry, I didn't mean to rush off like that. I had to hurry up and hit a hard close real quick.
Everybody gone?
Nah, the Chase is left. No. Everybody still is on there.
No.
Huh?
Oh, 200. Okay, they're back. 230-something people.
Yeah, no, everybody's still here. I ain't want to just rush off like that. I didn't know if you had any other things you wanted to hit on real quick.
Cam is because the chat like Cam the clown. I mean,
wait, hold on, let me ask that. Well, why is it like? Listen, now all serious, because I played with Cam. I got to know him when I was with Carolina, and I not once had any anything bad to say about the guy. I mean, Did
He's
Damian
saying
Harris play with Cam? And, no, I just want to say this because I know a lot of fans, they view Cam a certain way because I get they haven't had the experience of like being his teammate and really being around him to get to know who he really is. I'm just saying it wasn't just a fluke for me in Carolina. Damian Harris played with him in New England with the Patriots, who was coached by Bill Belichick, who we all know is like Nick Saban 2.0. And Damian was like, man, the team loved Cam. Bill himself loved Cam Newton. He was one of the hardest workers. And that's the same thing that I experienced when I was in Charlotte with the Panthers. So I always, it's hard when I see people talk about Cam like that. Not hard, like, what it is, but it's kind of confusing to me because I'm like, man, like if people really knew this dude for who he was,
but it's not personal, bro. It's not personal.
No, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. People talk about that man crazy, and I'm just like, they see who who he is in front of a podium, in front of a mic, and a lot of the stuff he does is definitely probably attention driven. But, dude, I mean, he honestly is like a solid dude, man. Like, I mean, honestly one of the best teammates I've had. Don't want to know him. Listen, I'd be willing to bet $100 if JJ ran into Cam Newton at a football camp or so. He would want to meet him real quick.
Well, I mean, besides, having all them babies and not being married, he's kind of jacked up.
I mean, ain't no need to be judging people's personal lives here. But I'll say this. I do understand, though. He's a big Auburn quarterback. I mean, I totally understand. Bama fans aren't going to be his fan just because of that alone. I think that's where most of it comes from. But I'm saying, like, even like outside of Bama fans, I mean, a lot of people definitely have strong opinions about Cam just because how he, maybe it's how he dresses, how he kind of carries himself. But
yeah, I'm doing good, man. I'm proud of what he's doing. And it's takes it sometimes jacked up. But
yeah, that take, I'm not gonna lie, he lost me on that take. But yeah, he lost me on that one. But no, he's a great dude though. JJ said you'd be out $100. That's cap, man. If you ran into Cam, dude, you damn sure would at least go say what's up. There ain't no way you dislike that man that much that you wouldn't want to go say what's up or at least shake hands with the dude.
He may not. I mean, he may not. Nobody care about that.
Nobody cares about it. Okay,
you're
right. But people line up to go meet Ryan Coleman Williams in Coleman Coliseum, but people don't care about.
Who is Ryan Coleman Williams? Who was that?
I'd take a wild guess.
I've never heard of the dude. I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
Ryan Williams, dude. Remember he added Coleman to his name.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I forgot about.
Yeah, I just was saying, like, don't make it seem like, people don't care about accolades. I'm like, come on, like, why do people go line up to go meet Ryan Coleman Williams? Because people, again, I get it, he's part of their team, but people care about accomplishments and accolades. Just like, for example, like, I respect the game of football, right? So I'm trying to, like, who is it? Like, Bo Jackson, he played at Auburn. I don't give a shit that he played at Auburn, man. I respect this game. I mean, if I go meet Bo Jackson, I go dap Bo Jackson up. I talk football with him, like. That's what I was saying. I mean, but there's probably some people that do take that rivalry that serious. I guess personally, I don't know. That audio's acting weird. Is that yours? Okay, I don't know what was going on with there, guys, but happy 316. I'm just giving you guys a hard time, but that is kind of my thought process on that. Oh, whoops.
Yeah. Well, no, somebody called.
Anyway. Yeah, I just have a hard time believing just because I know people love meeting people, like, even if they're not the biggest fan of them. You know what I mean? It's always cool to I don't know, meet somebody like that, like a figure.
So you saying these people are fanboys, basically?
I didn't say they're fanboy. No, I didn't.
You're an athlete, I want to
see,
go.
Now you're trying to put
shake
words in my
your
mouth.
hand.
I'm not talking about me. I'm not saying me at all. I'm saying in general terms, right? I'm just saying a lot of people, I think.
That's a fanboy. That's one right there, Dave. He's a fanboy here. That's smoke. But see, he saw me over here. The pastor paying. What is pie?
Chilling. Being a fan. I wasn't saying like that. I just was saying I don't think people have like this deep hatred sometimes, like they make it seem, because I know for a fact they see the people
Well,
personally.
I mean, there are people that get excited about
I'm
saying,
not
you know,
saying
it's kind of
JJ
like,
person. I'm not saying him specific. I'm saying anybody. I know a lot of people are like, it could be anybody. It could be
well, y'all
somebody in
always been like
WWE.
that.
It
You
could
know,
be,
I was playing the Hootie tournament and Tiger Woods, his dad was in front of us, and y'all wanted to meet Tiger Woods. I mean, I can get that. You know what I mean? Or Dan Marino. Dad, it's Dan
no,
Marino.
I'm saying more
You
so
know?
somebody that you typically would say like you're not a fan of. I'm not. We all know those. I mean, I don't think anybody just, I don't know, against Tiger Woods. I mean, maybe they are. I don't know. I was saying, like, if you're a big Alabama fan and then you see like a very famous Auburn figure like Bo Jackson, I would argue that even though most Alabama fans hate Auburn and would make it seem like they don't want nothing to do with them, if they were to see Bo Jackson on the golf course, best believe they would go shake his hand, maybe even ask for a selfie.
Yeah,
Bo Jackson, because he's a damn good
yeah,
football player.
but here's
That's
the
what I'm saying.
difference. Because Cam Newton is a me guy, and a lot of people, it turns people off. It seems to come off very, you know, selfish.
Wait,
more
hold on.
about.
I hear what you're saying, but you're a big Dion guy though. So you don't think Dion gives those vibes?
No, Dion's not selfish though. Dion, he would talk to people. Cam is a total, like, he comes off that way, like a standoffish kind of dude. So I think it depends. Like, well, if Bo Jackson, you know, seems welcoming. If you're welcoming people, you know what I mean. But if you're a certain type. You know, I'm not a big people person, but I talk to people and like been around people. But I'm like, Kevin just kind of comes off that standoffish kind of dude, and you throw that into the fact that he played at Auburn. If you're an Alabama fan, you know you're not gonna like him,
No,
so it's it becomes a turnoff. That's
no,
I think that's why
I
they.
hear that. No, I hear that. I hear that. But I will, like I said, being in the locker room with the dude, like, I mean, like, he actually was one of the. He comes off that way, but he didn't act like that when I was playing with him.
No, he's cool. But like a lot of people, it's like, you know, Sterling Sharp, right? You know, a lot of people don't like Sterling Sharp because he came off as, you know, man, he's mean. He's, you know, I asked him to sign an autograph. He cussed me out, or he said this. And I've heard all kinds of stories, but I mean, you know as well as I do, nicest, coolest dude, but he's not a people person like that. So, and people come to know that or see him at a public spot and he's rude to them, and then that gets out there. So people will say, well, you know what, I don't like it. They don't really know him, right? But he hasn't allowed the people to get to know him in a certain way, and he likes it like that. He don't care. So I don't think there's just people that are like that, right? They're very into themselves or more private, you know, and that's kind of how strong it is. But if you get to know him, like the dude give you a shirt off his back, he's a good person, but he's good to the people he lets into that circle.
Right.
And I think that's what comes off. That's what, yeah.
Let me, somebody asked about Jabarius. How do you pronounce that last name? I will say this, Ken, you guys know me, man. I don't really keep up with recruiting like that, so I don't know a whole bunch on the situation. I did see that we had a guy decommit, but I mean, like I said, I don't know, like, backstory behind it. I don't know. I think, is that the guy from Mobile? Maybe, like, maybe we pulled up let me see. Let me search his name real quick. What you just want to know my thoughts on it, or why would Alabama let the best rusher in the state go? Well, if it was up to them, I don't think they necessarily just let the guy go.
Money.
Yeah, I was about to say. I mean, sometimes guys, because if he's going to be a senior this upcoming year, and he was already committed to Alabama, he probably been committed for a while. I'm just going to tell you guys, just like I've said before, man. Like, guys get paid to commit. Guys get paid to stay committed. I mean, there's a whole, but that's part of the stuff that people are talking about needing to be changed, right? Like, people are so surface level or just so small minded. They just think, oh, you just don't want players to get paid, but they don't realize people are wrapping that up as NIL, right? Like, paying guys to be committed. So if I had to guess, sometimes what happens is, I mean, if you got a guy who's been committed to a school for a while and you still have schools recruiting them and they're sitting there in his ear like, hey, you take this visit, we'll pay you this. You know what I mean? Like, I think that could probably maybe sway. Now, I'm not accusing him of that. I personally don't know his situation or what the deal is. I just know when we're talking about a day and age of recruiting where that kind of stuff goes on, it doesn't shock me if you have a player decommit or something comes up. I mean, if you think about it from an outside linebacker standpoint, I mean, you got Yonze Pierre leaving after this season. Behind him, you've got Justin Hill. I think Zulu is only a one and done, right? Who transferred from South Carolina. I think Devin Tompkins might have another year of eligibility, but he literally is the guy that is at 300 pounds right now. So I think this guy was more of a true edge. So even just looking at the Wolf spot, I mean, next year it would be just Justin Hill. Maybe you see a guy like Xavier Griffin get some reps at Wolf. Outside of those, is it Matthews? I mean, the position is pretty damn open. So I don't think it would necessarily be that. If I had to guess, it probably was maybe, I don't know. Unless, is there more to it that I don't know about? Let me look him up. Jabari is, how do you pronounce his last name? Garor?
Probably going to Texas.
Who knows? Wait, I forgot. I signed up for that Bama Online thing, man. Don't they have like message boards and stuff? Don't those people be talking about it?
Yeah, a lot.
Maybe I need to start looking on. Let's look at Bama Online. Let's actually get our money's worth on this subscription, man.
Don't you have somebody on the show from Bama Online?
Like somebody that joins us?
Yeah.
I don't think nah. Not that I'm aware of. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't even remember what.
Have you been out to practice yet?
No, I didn't realize they had a full practice on Friday. I would have gone to that, but it's just hard with the show because I mean, I start at 11 and they practice from like 9:15 to about 11. But I am without a doubt, I'm going to the scrimmage. When they scrimmage, I'm definitely going to go up there. But
So they got yeah.
I mean, it could be them recruiting other guys. I'll be honest, I'm not sure. Let me look. I'll try. Hold on, let's see. Oh, he's been committed to Alabama for more than 18 months, dating back to July 2024. Continue to look around at other schools like Auburn, Texas, and Texas A&M. There's your answer. I mean, there's your answer, right? I mean, Coach Huxler's a great coach at Auburn. We had great conversations. Film sessions were my favorite part. Some pretty good things that stood out with the technique, all different things. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked too. I mean, he just mentioned. I mean, I don't mean this in a bad way. Again, like I think Christian Robinson's a great coach, but I don't know if we have like right now. I don't know if I would say like our staff has anybody that's like a big pass rush guy or somebody with receipts of like really putting like edge guys like. Because Christian Robinson, if I'm not mistaken, I think he's worked as like an inside backers coach, also outside backers. But there's a difference between being like an outside backers coach that's a true, just like all around outside backers coach, and then being like a edge backers coach where you're responsible for a lot of dudes and pass rush ability. So maybe he feels a little bit more comfortable with some other guys. But the schools we just mentioned, I mean, I think it's I think it's probably a combination of several things, but he's been committed here for 18 months, 14 months, whatever it said. I mean, he probably is seeing some of his other guys, some other recruits being able to get paid to go on visits and do other stuff. So I wouldn't be shocked if that plays a role. 2-6-6 edges though. I mean, this staff, honestly, they remind me of kind of how the Panthers started to kind of transition, which wasn't great. I'll say that, but I think with us it could be different. But leaning a lot into body types, potential, really good athletes. I mean, you look at our secondary; they love the length in the secondary. They love the length up front. They love guys like Caleb Woodson that have that ability to play multiple spots. Athletic backgrounds. I mean, that's what this staff seems to like a lot. So. When it comes to Garor, and I probably am butchering his last name. I don't know. Bring in someone else who wants to come here. I mean, I wouldn't knock the dude just yet, Smitty. I mean, well, I wouldn't knock him at all. But damn, as a junior, had 32 and a half tackles for loss, 21 sacks. I mean, listen, I mean, he was committed here for 18 months, man. Like, sometimes as a recruit, man, I mean, things can, not saying the staff did anything, but I mean, if you're committed somewhere for 18 months, and like I said, I mean, you see other dudes getting paid, going on visits. You got Texas A&M, them schools coming after you, man. I mean, listen, it would be hard for a guy not to consider maybe decommitting. It don't mean he can't end up back here. I mean, I remember before we weren't getting paid on visits, not even close, but like dudes would take officials and stuff. I remember dudes just saying, hey, I know I'm going to school at, this school, but I'm going to just take my official visits because we get 5 of them to use. So I'm just going to use them, So who knows? But hopefully they bring in some good pass rushers, man, because that's what this team needs for sure. Two-time Mr. Alabama for a defensive lineman. Well, I mean, I wouldn't call it a miss just yet. I mean, you got what, December signing day, so you got what, 9 months? I mean, he could circle back, but I would never just get too. I mean, I get it. He's from Viger, Mobile area, from the state. Yeah, you definitely don't want to lose that, but I mean, I definitely think there's you got plenty of time. Just got to see how it plays out. Hell, guys like Yanze having a big year, I guarantee you that'll help sway a guy like that. When you see guys playing your position have success, that always helps too.
All right, picked up another sponsor for my Giants for Christ golf event, Peterborough Toyota.
There you go.
I got to get, where's Adam at today? Lamparello.
He was here early. Stop trying to use our sponsors, man. You're wrong for that. All right.
Wrong for that.
All right. I think I'm about to probably grab some lunch. It is snowing and hailing here, which is weird, but
it's snowing in Alabama?
Yeah, it's snow or it's like hail this morning. So
I'm ready to talk some football, weird, not recruiting. I'm gonna pick out a position and go. Let me do some research. Let me get my Alabama feel going here.
We waiting on it, man. We had Landon. That's what we've been doing, man. We've been breaking all these things down. I'm down to do some more breakdowns, but the problem is.
Well, I want to see some film. I want to see some practice.
Well, I mean, I don't have practice tape, man. I can go to practice, but I don't have practice tape.
Not pat and go, not a little drill.
No, they're in pads now. They're in pads.
Well, I know. Let's see what that tackle can do. So I said, now we need to be able to judge, not judge, but break down, and well, that is judging. See if he can play. If Grubb made the right decision.
I mean, Landon, if you want to go watch some of his clips, Landon did a breakdown of the tackle. Jackson Lloyd on this channel, Landon Tengwall. If you want to go watch that, or I can show you how I watch some tape. But
I'll get it. All right, I got to do some work on the golf tournament. So, all right, chat, y'all be easy. Anybody on this?
There's talking about recruiting.
Yeah, I don't do that. All right, I'm out.
All right, we'll see you. Appreciate you.
I don't know how to end this one.
Just exit. All right. Seeing him play in person, just feel like Bama can't win the defense line. Went over the defensive line because defensive line coach at Auburn is a dog. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. Hopefully we can get back to I don't know, man, just recruiting some dogs on the defensive line. Definitely think that's important. Definitely really important for us, man. But I wouldn't rule this guy out just yet. I mean, I don't know much about him. Like my dad said, I don't keep up recruiting like that, to be honest with you. So I don't know a whole bunch. But, unfortunately, when you had a guy committed like that long ago, it's hard to hold a kid for 2+ years. You know what I mean? Like, especially with money being thrown around now. Like I said, I mean, these guys have opportunities to get paid just to go on visits. So, like, you just got to think from that perspective. Now, don't get me wrong. Now, they can get paid to stay committed, too. Like, I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, Alabama's probably not showing any type of love. But with them Texas schools in the mix, you already know. You already know what that entails. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us per usual, man. On the way out, if you don't mind, hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, for all our listeners on X, if you have a YouTube channel, we would love if you guys go over to YouTube real quick. Take 2 seconds and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That always helps the show, and we definitely appreciate it. And we'll continue rolling, keep talking some more ball. Tomorrow we got Clint Lamb at the top of the hour. Maybe we'll see if Clint can join the stream too, since you guys enjoy that piece. I'll send him a text today and see if he can join us on the stream. If not, no worries. We'll talk to him on the phone lines. Wednesday we got Gray Robertson. We'll kind of do a recap on all Alabama sports like we do with him on Wednesdays. Thursday, we got our guy Adam. We got Brandon Clear, former Clemson wide receiver. Then Friday, I think we're open right now, but I'll try to get another interview lined up as we cap off this week and get ready to roll back into spring ball. But appreciate you guys, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.